What's up, everybody? What's going on? We're going to try things a little bit different tonight. I'm going to try to be more my mellow self. In fact, hold on a second. I seem to have forgotten something. Something very important. Yes, I can't believe I forgot this. This was one of the most important things. My wife is going to kill me. She's going to say, you needed them for the show, and you never put them on. My costume. I forgot. I completely forgot.
Oh my god, I love that.
I think I have them on backwards still. Hold on. Let's put them on the right one. I was gonna just have them on. I ruined the joke. The joke's over now. There we go.
You demon worshiper, you.
Damn right.
You're growing horns.
Well, it's my actual normal form. That's what it is. This is my true form. So, Jay Sauber, what's up, brother? Thank you so much for that super chat right off the bat. Thank you.
Yeah, really early on that one. Appreciate you, dude.
We didn't even do anything cool yet.
I know, right? Like, I don't know. We have nothing planned, nothing interesting at all tonight.
I think the plan was to get one sent to me, but
yeah, but I know for you guys, it's the spicy is a little bit, so we'll
I don't like that. It's right over my ears. Oh hell no. I don't care if it looks better. It doesn't feel good. Oof, that feels weird.
If it doesn't feel good, it ain't right.
Right? Doesn't feel good. Well, we'll see how long I last with these on.
Well, okay, I'm going to take back what I said there, because later that's not going to be applying to the later part of the stream.
People are asking for the lights up. Let's turn the lights up. I agree. Oh. Yeah, I don't know. What do you think?
Well, I feel like I got to turn my lights up to match with you now. Hold on.
Oof. They're pretty cool. I do like them. I kind of feel like they should be a little bit more forward, though. Like right about there. Like that's pretty. I don't know. She says it. I think they should go like more towards the. Yeah, like that. Yeah, that's how I like them. Like coming right out of like that spot. There we go.
He's a tiefling. And also, hello.
She's gonna ruin him again.
Everybody in the audience, in the participants tab, I can see Asarte Azeroth, CM Helmikainen, Cameron Carlson, who may just be eating a Reaper along with me tonight.
Who's that?
No pressure. Cameron Carlson.
Oh, Cameron. I think that's a personal friend.
Yes. David's Gmail, Eden Garden, Gogo, Jay Sauber, Sinister Jinx, The Hermit, Upon Earth, Will N. Van, and Wyatt Coverdale.
Wyatt says that I have been repeating myself too much, and he's tired of hearing about non-duality tonight. Oof. Boy, do we have the wrong show for you.
Yeah, and it's, we've actually covered this before because, like, certainly after the shows sometimes, when it's just us, we'll talk about how it seems like we repeat ourselves a lot or cover the same thing from just a little bit different angles. And I feel like you have to do that on a certain level. I mean, A, there's only so much you can talk about, but also B, is sometimes people need to hear the same thing in just a particular way until it clicks.
Mm-hmm.
And
well, and it's like, dude, have you watched TV? Like, it's the same story over and over and over again at this point.
Yeah, no fucking kidding.
Like, once you hit your mid-20s, dude, you're gonna be like, I've seen this movie before. Like Avatar. Like, I love the movie Avatar, but even I have to admit, it's basically Dances with Wolves, like, part 4 in space. Like, it's, like, relax.
Yeah, or Hamlet is basically just the Lion King.
People saying, Thorne, how are you, legend? Yeah. Let me do the soliloquy from the beginning of Legend. I love that part when he's, Mother Night. I love that fucking scene. Like, I sometimes watch that scene just for something, and then the laugh, oh, I fucking love it. I'd wear big old bullhorns, but I don't know, man. Bullhorns would be a little too much. Like, they'd be like they'd be stretched out like up here. I wouldn't be able to see. Wyatt says he's never getting tired of it. Then why'd you say it? Why did you bring it up?
I didn't actually. Maybe I just didn't read that part, but you might have been projecting a little bit there with the I don't want to hear about non-duality.
Oh no, I am being a dick about it. That part's true. Yeah, he said. Let's see, where is it? I've noticed that a lot of the time you repeat essentially the same wisdom. Have we officially tapped the supply? LOL. I think the LOL means that it was just a gentle ribbing. I think that's what that was.
Oh yeah, I think so.
I'm not mad at Wyatt. I know Wyatt. He seems fine. He's gonna be like, what?
Absolutely.
Thorne's mad at me. Oh no, Senpai's mad at me.
No, Senpai, no. Oh no.
Yeah, true. Good point. Good point. Good point.
Oh man, Senpai getting thrown around. Only thing worse is Daddy.
Yeah, Senpai, you can get away with.
I'm not kink shaming. This is a personal thing for me. Like,
yeah. Well, you know, anytime a lover says something that ends in an E, like daddy, baby, do me, it all sounds good, right?
No, no.
What? What's the no? What specifically is the no?
Shit on me. I can.
Well,
I think
some
my
people
stomach.
like that.
I think my stomach knows what I'm gonna do to it. It's already protesting.
It's already protesting?
Yeah, I don't.
I hear you have that vegetarian gut.
Maybe.
Yeah, I hear you have that vegetarian gut, and it's essentially.
It's not as bad as when I was vegan. When I was vegan, I, no exaggeration, almost killed a couple people in a car. Not from the gas, but from the driver eyes watering, not knowing where his lane was anymore. So, you know.
People are having all kinds of conversations. I think some people are talking about
ending
legend.
is embracing our feminine side. Somebody say daddy. Please don't.
What's the E ending? They mean the ending of Legend, maybe?
No, what you were saying of when a lover says anything ending with E.
Oh, I never thought of that. Interesting.
You said it.
Take. No,
What do you mean you never thought of it?
embracing the feminine side part. I never put that in there.
I
I'm not
understand
sure how
now.
God damn it.
I didn't think about it. My lips were just moving and things
Hold on.
sprung forth.
Motherfucker! All right, anyway. Yeah, you know what really sucks about horns? Imagine if you had horns like these. Now imagine you had to wear normal clothes. How would you get your shirt on?
I think you
Like put it through like one horn like over then the other, get the neck over, or just wear button-ups.
So I don't have kids, but when you have like infants, don't like you put their onesies on from the bottom and then they like clasp around the shoulders or something like that? Isn't that
like
like
little
a thing?
baby, like little baby ones? Like I don't know. I would just wear a button-up shirt.
Yeah, because I feel like you'd have to do that, or like a button-up, or fucking something. You got to get clever with you're not just pulling it straight down anymore. That's how you get just big old tears.
Gogo says, do you think November 1st, 11/1/111 is the most supernatural date in a year? Look.
Not any more than any other day? I don't know.
I can see why people would think it is. What about Friday the 13th? What about, numerology being what it is, of course. Here's the thing, okay? You know that I am, when I say opposed, that doesn't mean that like I think you're wrong necessarily for putting energy into it. In fact, I encourage people to put energy into what works for them. But I would discourage people from thinking that a specific day, just because of a number, has any meaning or power by itself. Not by itself, is what I'm saying. The reason why it can be powerful, I suppose, is when you get a bunch of people putting into it. That builds into it. And of course, the elite that know things, they're big into astrology and numerology for a reason. So I don't want to discount it completely, but I would say that, you know what the most powerful day of any year is magically is right now today. That's the most powerful day. I know that sounds like a freaking motivational poster, but I think it's true. So Slim Lewis has hit us with a great big yellow billboard with a lot of money strapped to it.
Yes, Slim Lewis says, when you level up to a new paradigm in the multiverse, are your friends and family the exact same people in the new paradigm? Or are they different fractals of the person they were in the old paradigm?
Ooh, that's a lot of unpacking. Let me finish Gogo and I will answer that. So Gogo adds on, he says, I asked because 1st November is Day of the Death in the calendar. I mean, whose calendar? You know what I mean? Like there's All Saints Day, there's Samhain, however you want to pronounce it. There's Halloween, there's the Day of the Dead, there's all these different customs and cultures, and they'll tell you different days for different things, and which one is it really? You know, which one really? Instead of thinking about it as, you know, if you want to go with the collective conscious, that's important. Yes, you can absolutely go with the collective conscious, whatever the collective conscious is saying, that will empower you. So if you live in a culture where October 31st is Samhain, Halloween, whatever you want to fucking call it, and you want to go with that flow, tap into that. If you in an occult circle believe that November 1st is the most death day that there is, go with that. I don't have the same attachment. When I say this, I don't mean attachment necessarily in the negative way. I don't have the same attachment to book learning that other people. I'm not a book learned motherfucker when it comes to this. So for me, it's mostly an intuitive take on things. So generally speaking, I don't go with, I will use something like that as an interesting modifier, like playing Dungeons and Dragons gives me a +1, if you will, on something, but it doesn't by itself make it happen, right? It's just a way to augment whatever it is I might be doing. So if I read and find out that in a lot of cultures this day means something, I'll look up why. If there's a significant reason, then I'll use it. If not, you know, does it work for me? I guess that's that chaos magic spirit that I'm talking about there.
Yeah, you're a little bit more of that this came to me in a dream type of thing, where it's all personal and everything else that other people have wrote is all validation on top of that.
Correct. Like more like validation or augmentation. Right. I like that word. Validation's good. Yeah, validation's good. You know, as you intuit things and dream them and imagine them and make them happen, yes, you know, if you get validation from outside, it really makes it better for sure.
Yeah, because you can find something, and just because there's not other people out there saying, oh yeah, this day means that, or purple definitely has these powers or what have you, it doesn't mean that you're wrong. It just means that you're not tapping in the same current as everybody else. And getting that external validation is really, in a way, just saying, I am somehow interfacing with the same current that these people are in.
Yeah, and that's important too to remember is, you know, I mean, I dislike, we can go too far in the everybody's right direction in all of this, but when it comes to subjective spirituality, it is true. I mean, everybody is right. You know, what you experience is what's valid for you. There are objective things. There are reasons that I disagree occasionally and say things like from a perspective as if I'm speaking for everybody. But I think a lot of the times it's because I sense an element of superstitiousness in people's thinking.
Oh, and, absolutely.
I like to purge that out of what I do. The only issue, though, is you still got to embrace the superstition as inspiration from the collective consciousness. So if you put the superstitious belief in the right context, everybody believes it, so there's power in it, then it's fine. If you put it in, it's real, and that's why everyone believes in it, that's when you put the cart before the horse, in my opinion. That's why, why is salt a purifier in magic? Well, people who don't really know would tell you that it's a purifier in magic because it's always been, it's a mystical thing. It is a gift by this spirit. But no, it's actually because ancient people realized that if they put salt with food, it would draw out impurities and keep it preserved and pull water out of things, and it wouldn't go bad. And it would, so yes, salt seems like a purifier. So that becomes a superstition, and it's a useful one, because if people superstitiously believe that magic keeps evil spirits at bay, they're more likely to put it in their food and thus be healthier. So it's like evolution. It's a, self-validating belief. But that belief is powerful. And if you accept that in the collective conscious, it's there, using that in your ritual is fine. Just remember to put the cart the right way around with the horse. That's all. Okay, so Slim Lewis, let's repeat that. He says, when you level up to a new paradigm in the multiverse, are your friends and family the exact same people in the new paradigm, or are they different fractals of the same person? Part of the issue with that question is it's taking for granted the fact that you are all of these people. You're your friends and family too. The real you. So let's detach for a moment. When you level up, what does that mean when you level up? Who are we talking about? Who's the you that we're talking about? I'm asking that to the void. I see you moving your mouth like you want to answer, Fleshy.
I'm going to answer as an audience surrogate. I'm going to say that in this context, it's this perception, this ego, this egregore. This egregore just leveled up into new levels of power and knowledge.
So the egregore doesn't go anywhere. The egregore is just the story that's appearing in your mind as you're reading the fractal of the multiverse. Okay. And I love your question because it means you're paying attention. I love this question, by the way, because you're paying attention to what I've been saying. And this is the stuff that I wonder, like, are people catching on to it? And the fact that you asked this question shows you're thinking about it. So that's really fucking good, by the way. Hopefully what I'm doing here will spread and people can pick it apart and figure it out and decide whether they like it or not. So imagine as an analog, as an analogy, imagine that there is only one entity in the entire universe. Okay. There's just one person and they have an infinite intellect. They can contain as many bits of information that they want in their mind. But what they've done is they have opened up a book, and this book is the fractal multiverse. Okay. And they're reading this book. And as they're reading this book, they're identifying with one of the characters that they're reading about, the central character of this particular story. That's you. But it's not you, you see. That person doesn't exist. It's really just a mirage in their mind, in this higher being's mind. That's all it is. That's the you that you're referring to, is this character. Well, the character isn't real, so it can't level up. You can say it leveled up, but it doesn't actually. You're reifying an imaginary thing, kind of like a character sheet on, an RPG. The character doesn't actually exist. It's just a collection of information that you call a character. And then the character appears in your mind, the identity, the caricature of that information. You personify it. So what is leveling up? Well, all this leveling up is nothing. There's nothing to level up. The leveling up is it's a bit of it's a different perspective. It's not even a leveling up. There's nothing to improve. So the character can feel like it's improving because the character has limitations. And as the character goes through experiences, the storyline that we're reading can make it seem stronger and more wise and all of these cool things. So it can feel like it's leveling up. Yes. But it's just an illusion. There's only you, and you're both your friends. Your friends and family are just other stories. They're just third-person accounts of the same universe. Okay, you're a first-person experience. They're a second, third-person experience. Okay, so you're all the same consciousness experiencing from different directions. So when your consciousness is moving along and shifting timelines and dimensions in this multiverse, you're not leaving anybody behind because there's nobody there. It's all illusory. It's all you ultimately. Okay. But in a manner of speaking, yes, if you want to return to the grounded position of this is reality, if that's where you want to be, then yes, the argument would be, from your perspective, it is a different person every time you change realities, even every moment. And here's the proof for it. Okay. We don't have to go into magic or weirdness. The person that I married, that's almost 19 years ago. Okay, not married now. I met them almost 19 years ago. Just about 19 years ago. Almost actually to the day, like we're getting close. So I met my wife 19 years ago. In that time, all of the atoms and molecules, everything that constitutes her body, except for some enamel on her teeth, has been replaced by new atoms and molecules. So the person that I met 19 years ago isn't there anymore unless you count the enamel. Is she the enamel on her teeth? No. I think we could safely rule out, if you yank all your teeth out, that's not who you were. Okay, so you're not any of the substance of your body. That substance is transient. That's not you. Well, what about her personality? What about her character? What about her memories? All of that changes not only over 19 years, That changes day to day, moment to moment, in fact. You can forget something you were thinking 3 seconds ago and never remember it ever again. Are you not a different person because of that than you were 3 seconds ago? Of course. So every moment of your experience, your consciousness is reading through this fractal multiverse and leaving behind itself, as well as, and when I say itself, that's the analogy. It's not real. It's leaving behind the thing it was associated with before. And it's going to keep doing that. It's going to keep doing that constantly. So no, you can't even experience yourself more than 1 split second. How can you experience somebody else multiple times? So this is why developing a sense of non-attachment, not detachment, that's wrong. Detachment is, I just don't care. It's like nihilism. Non-attachment, where you go, I get it. I'm standing in a river. And in fact, imagine you're running down river. You're running down a river and you're moving and the river's moving and you're experiencing time because of this. None of this is stationary. None of this stays the same. Change is the only constant of the mortal experience. That's not because change is occurring, but change is the only constant of a mortal experience. It's the only thing that is inevitable for a mortal experience. An immortal experience is one without change. There's no experience of change for an immortal being. Now that's really hard to understand because you can't conceive of even a conception that doesn't involve change in it somewhere. This is because everything about mortality is based upon interactions between things that resist and change and flow. Everything is about that. But immortality is, for lack of a better word, stagnation, entropy, like total perfect entropy. It's oblivion. It's emptiness. There's nothing there. When I say nothing, I mean no thing. So, yes, on this level, from your perspective as a mortal person, because that's what you've limited your divinity down to. You've forgotten your everything else. You're just remembering this. That's all you're aware of right now. From the perspective of Slim Lewis, yes, every moment, every single moment, you are leaving behind everybody. All of your loved ones, everybody, they're gone. They don't exist anymore. I don't exist anymore. The person that you asked this question of doesn't exist anymore. They're long gone. Now, when I say that, let me correct that. It does exist. Let me correct that. It does exist, but it exists where you left it. You've left him behind. So the D.H. Thorne that you knew when you asked that question is, in your perspective, the past. It's still there, but you've moved on and you don't see him anymore. I don't see him anymore either. It's still there in the timeline. If I was able to consciously awaken fully to my divinity, I could probably snap back to that moment and relive it. But we have chosen this mortal experience. And sometimes that's frustrating because when you realize that that's probably true or definitely true, or you awaken to it fully, there can be this feeling like, okay, I know this is true, but why can't I change? The reason you can't change is because if you could, you'd lose the meaning of the change at all. If you could zip around back and forth in time, how would you even remember it? Because your memory is supposedly stored in the experiential moment, right? Your memory is stored in the brain, probably, most likely, at least the conscious memory anyway. You know, if you get a part of your brain removed or bruise it, you don't remember things anymore. So if I were to transport my consciousness back 3 seconds, how would I know I did it? I wouldn't have a memory of the future, so how could I know I did it or not? So you might be moving back and forth in time all the time and not know it. I could be fleshy right now and not know it because I'm only focused on the memories and thoughts of this brain right now. And when I go to fleshy, he's only thinking about himself. And so as consciousness is blinking back and forth, it doesn't necessarily bring with it all of that because it's chosen to forget on purpose. Why? Because if it doesn't do that, then the game is boring or it's not the same. Look, some people like to play a game with cheat codes on. I do. Some people like to play them without cheat codes. I do that too. I always like to give a game a fair shake before I cheat at it. So maybe that explains why I like Magic, because I feel like I want to cheat a little bit. But yeah, so these are all analogous. Don't take there's the famous Zen saying, Zen is a finger pointing at the moon, and all too often people get focused and hung up on the finger. Don't mistake the teaching for the wisdom behind it. The teaching is just pointing at the truth. So I hope that answer helps you a little bit, because that's a big topic, and I want to, let's cut it. Cut.
I like seeing questions like that, though, that you can really sink your teeth into.
Mm-hmm. So Wyatt brings up the ship of Theseus, which is a brilliant thing, but yes, go ahead, Fleshy.
I am happy you brought that up, too, because I knew exactly, I was thinking it, but I couldn't remember the name.
Ship of Theseus is beyond a mindfuck. Well, here's why it's a beautiful mindfuck, okay? It makes you ask, what exactly is the ship? Is it the substance or the legend that goes with it? Without the legend, would the substance matter? Without the substance, would the legend matter? So there's a duality there. Whenever you approach a paradox, that means you're getting to something really important. Okay, whenever you hit a paradox, in science, when you hit a paradox, you're kind of fucked. In metaphysics, when you hit a paradox, you're knocking on heaven's door, literally. You're literally knocking on the divine door. When you hit a paradox, that means you're right there. You just, you're just about to get it. You're just about to get it. How you deal with that paradox is whether you really get it or not.
But
so the paradox of the ship of Theseus is solvable. Again, that's another solvable riddle. Okay. I'm not going to do it for you, though, this time. I'm going to be that dick. I'm going to say hi to Behemoth X. Behemoth X, what's up, brother? He says, crack cocaine is not a recreational drug. Hi, friends. No, it's not. I don't think it is.
I'm wondering what the context of that quote, like, I'm going to agree with you, but where's that coming from?
I don't know. He can be a bit of a troll sometimes. He trolls me. He sent me stuff. He sent me something because Ed Morrow, yes, I said his name. He's going to be all excited. Fucking put out this ad that he like cursed me, and that's why my computer. I had a Photoshop picture of my computer on fire. Literally one component doesn't work, and he's saying that he like almost burnt me alive, and he's using that to freaking sell his services. I think that's really funny. Like, I'm making him more money by being successful than he will ever. Like, I find that really fucking funny. Oh man, but he likes that.
The component didn't even break. Well, it did.
It still works.
It still works. It just
it got
broke
corrupted
just enough that you were like, new computer, better computer, fuck it.
Yeah, I could have just.
It is fixable.
I mean, like I said, in a way, it was a bunch of like hidden blessings, actually. So
thanks for that, then.
Yeah,
you're gonna take credit, then. Yeah.
Yeah, thank you. Appreciate it. Well, there's a thing. It's called the Morrow curse that like not just me, but a lot of other people call it. Because you'll be sitting there and you'll stub your toe, or like you get like a leaky roof and it like costs $5 to fix it, or like you ran out of gas, like right next to the gas station, that kind of thing. That's the Morrow curse. They're pretty much.
Damn you! I'm so mildly inconvenienced.
Yes, you mildly inconvenience me, and then it'll turn out that your insurance will buy you a whole new car for whatever the minor thing was or something. It's like it's like such a it's like oh. I had a leaky roof. We told the landlord and I got a brand new one. Thanks, dude.
It's like a supervillain that accidentally helps the city. Just like by exposing the flaws in the infrastructure, everything just gets improved and public health is better for them.
Mm-hmm. Well, it's like I tell people, there was actually a service I was offering for a while, and I might offer this one again. This one's an interesting one. Where I originally it was using Belial, but it doesn't have to be with a spirit. It was to essentially invoke, or I should say evoke in your life. You invoke and I evoke for you the tower card in your life. Now, why would you want that? Why would you want someone to basically hit you with the tower card? Because the tower card is a shaking of your foundation. What do you find out when your foundation shakes? You find out what's broken. If your tower is funky and you get shook, you find out which bricks weren't holding anything, like which one was a liability. If you do it the right way, it actually helps a lot, right? So I've told people that 99% of the time, the negative things that happen in their life are the results of tensions. Okay. You can see this if you're a little bit prescient, if you pay attention to people and you look at their life and you have a little prescience, you can say that person's going to have this problem. I can see it. I don't know when, but it's coming, because there's an imbalance in their life. There's a tension, right? So when people, like, all the community drama going on right now, especially the one thing that is really big in the news right now that I don't want to name names, because I know some people are now, they're willing to talk about. I'm out of it. Okay. I'm not in it. It's not my problem. I'm trying to stay like Switzerland. It's not my business. But I will say that a lot of these things are long overdue tensions that, like an earthquake, like the San Andreas fault is doomed. We just don't know when. Okay. These are tensions that for a long time people were coping with, dealing with, and then it just took the right thing, whatever that is. Maybe it's drugs, maybe it's like the right fight, maybe it's you saw the right movie, whatever it is, it snapped. And the tension is now balancing itself out. So in your life, I said this last year, at the beginning of 2020, I did a video, and I have to watch it over again because I felt like, you know what? I wonder if what I said in that video was useful to me, and I just didn't. Like, I made this beautiful video about how 2020 had to happen. It's all growing pains. It's birth pains. We need to have this. Whatever's going to happen, just have faith that it's supposed to be. And I haven't watched it since I made it, and I forget what I said. But I did say something about tensions. And so I'm going to have to look it up and watch it and see. It's like a good half hour long. I want to see how spot on I was. And did I miss my own shadow? Because at the time I felt very confident. 2020 and and most of 21 happens, and oh my God, this really sucks. And the roller coaster happens. So how much of that did I miss? How much of my own wisdom did I miss? You know, that's really important stuff. But you know what? I've been coping this week. I've been playing way too much Skyrim. And I haven't done any work, and I've been ignoring everything to do in the world. People have been emailing me. I'm like, yeah, that's nice. And I don't really really take the time to respond very deeply. So, you know, yeah.
But to jump off what you said too, I think the tower is important because sometimes everything that we build up is really just a big stinky pile of shit. A lot of the time. If you realize that and you look around and realize all of this is fucking shit, you can only polish a turd so much. You can only try to if I throw out that peanut, maybe I could put something better in its place right there. And slowly, you know, what's that analogy of the ship? I forgot its name again already.
The ship of Theseus. Yeah,
the ship of Theseus. I can ship a Theseus, this pile of shit, into something better. No, just tower your way out of that fucker. It hurts, and you get starting from ground zero again, but you can not be in a pile of shit until it becomes a pile of shit.
Then it becomes a pile of shit again. Look, we're all just cows chewing cud forever. That's all we are. CM Hellekainen says, I'm never going to say his name right, by the way. One of these days I'm going to meet him. Like, we're supposed to have an interview one of these days, and we keep having problems schedule-wise. And we're going to hang out one time, and he's be like, it's Hellekainen or something. He's going to, like, completely fix it on me.
No, I'm pretty sure you did actually pronounce it right.
Oh, Hellekainen?
That first time, yeah.
Okay, good. He said, D.H. Thorne, last week I went on a big rewatch of your old content, and the Relax, A New Paradigm is Being Born was a crazy rewatch. Tell me in the comment, Hellekainen, why? Like, what was it that am I right? Is there something I need to rewatch, and maybe I'll learn something that I told myself? Like, did I make that video for my future self? I'm going to have to watch that. Behemoth X says he spent a lot of time with his boys. Good for you, man. No, really, because, you know, family does mean a lot. And I don't really have much family. I have my wife and my son and you know, what's left of my mom and all this stuff. And, you know, drama. But, you know, I have my wife's family to a different extent. And, you know, family is important. If you got close family that you care about, make the most of it right now for the rest of your life. I mean, honestly. And if you don't just because you got blood doesn't mean you're attached to them forever. If you got somebody who's a piece of shit, get rid of them. You know?
There's that meme I posted a while back that I fucking love. It's that your blood relations are just the pre-generated suggested party members. moving
Right.
forward. You're free to pick whoever you want, and that's your family, is my outlook on it. Those people are just blood family.
I go by what, is there reciprocity going on? You know, is there family that, what, I don't mean to make it, what have you done for me lately type of shit, because there should be a sense of some loyalty involved, I suppose. But no, when people are toxic, they're toxic. If you've got toxic family, you don't owe them anything. I don't care if they did give birth to you. I don't care if they carried you for 9 months and paid for your life for 18 years. If they are literally toxic to you, you don't owe them anything. If a parent has a child with the mentality of they're going to owe me, that's not a child at that point. That's some kind of a pet or an object that they think they own. So no, you don't owe them anything. And I would say it to my own kid. I hope that if he's a big successful guy in the future, that he'll buy his little old dad a trailer home in the woods somewhere if I can't afford one. But I don't expect him to. I hope I raise him to be generous. I really hope. But I don't expect it. I really don't. And there's a lot of parents that do, though. There's a lot of twisted fucks out there that really do.
And it's really fucking tragic and sad, because like if you're bringing life into the world, it should be for the love of that life and wanting to share all that you love with them, not...
Or it's a happy accident.
Or a happy accident. I'm just saying there should be a foundation of love. It should not be transactional in nature, of I do this for you so that you will scratch my back later on.
I didn't give birth to you so that you could buy me a house. But there's people who really think that way. They really do. They really, really do. And I don't know if you've ever met any, but they really do think that way on some level. They may never admit it. They may never make it obvious. But they will put you in, like a box and just be like, do this, do that, do this, do that, do this, do that forever.
Yeah, and that's exactly what you were saying. It's fucking toxic. I don't want those people around. I don't want those people around unless it's just like, we both acknowledge I'm your woodworking guy and you're my fucking taxes guy. Like, this relationship doesn't go beyond that. We both acknowledge it. Cool, whatever.
Hematech says, don't worry, he will put you in a good home. I think he means my kid. Quote, you got to put quotes around the home. Can you imagine me in an old folks home? I'm going to be really fun. I'm going to make sure I have my magic staff with me instead of a cane. And I'm going to be freaking scaring the shit out of people. I'll be like casting the evil eye at people. All the old people will be scared of me. It's going to be great. I'll be like, I saw your death in my soup. Just fuck with people. I probably will too. That's the fucked up part. I probably will see their death in my soup.
You're gonna be fucking what's that thing? You know when they used to cut open the animals and read the entrails?
Yeah, reading the entrails, yeah.
You're gonna be doing that with your fucking old home alphabet soup.
I will. Yep. I don't see why not.
The soup says fuck you. Today's pudding day.
How did he know it was pudding day? Yeah. Wait. Satanic geriatric. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Follow me, kiddies. We're gonna go into the underworld.
Oh boy. What are we gonna see here?
Oh man. Look, I think the old folks home for my generation is gonna be awesome. I don't know about your generation. I think it's gonna suck again, but my generation is gonna be awesome. It's gonna be all metalheads and people playing freaking Nintendo and crap. It's gonna be good. You guys are all gonna be there with your skinny jeans and shit, I guess. I don't know.
Ours is going to be awesome because everybody's going to have their own room. We'll have full net running capabilities by that point. We'll just be plugged in 24/7 looking like, I don't know, octopus monsters with all the cables running.
Except they're not going to let you live past 65 or so. They're going to give you death panels. You're going to figure out.
I know. I'm cool. Like, I don't need those years. I'll take those years off the end and just put it into doing more dope shit now.
You need to watch some Logan's Run, my friend. Watch Logan's Run. It sucks when it's not your choice in the matter. That would suck. If it was a choice, that's fine. I think that's fine. If people want to give that choice, people would be like, hey, let's you can volunteer for it. I think that's fine. But if it's, oh no, you don't have a choice. No, you just broke the rule. You're no longer on the voluntary side. You are an enemy of this state that I believe in. A serial Krabat is here. A cereal. I'm going to say a cereal. I don't know if that's how he likes to have it said. But he says, Guten Tag.
Guten Tag,
Guten Tag,
motherfucker.
Samuel. We have to get you on, my friend. We have to get you on.
Dude,
I'll do the fake German.
We're getting a fucking backlog of guests that we need to have on again.
You know, because nobody follows through. They all say yes, and then for whatever reason, one of us drops the ball, probably me, and doesn't actually set anything up.
It's admittedly difficult, especially when we're dealing with multiple time zones. And like, that's part of the hard part. And also just like shit comes up last minute fucking every time. It's just really hard to predict.
Uh-huh. Well, I got that one guy who was doing the was it astrology or tarot? I was just on his show like last week. I was just on his channel. And I did offer to have him on. He wants to come on. So we're going to touch base on when. And I got somebody supposed to...
I didn't get to finish watching that video, but from what I saw, I liked the guy. I'd love to have him on and talk with him.
What I like about him is, like, afterwards we talked about a lot of other stuff, outside stuff, you know, the stuff that you hate. And we talked about, and we completely agreed and disagreed on a lot of topics, and a lot of topics we disagreed on, a lot of times people get angry about. But no, he's a good guy in that way, and so was I, because he, like, I respond in kind. If someone is tolerant and respectful, so long as what they believe in doesn't mean my doom if they get their way, you know, like if we just, like, we can have an argument about what to do with the surplus, but when you're telling me I can't have a gun or something like that, that's something I'm willing to throw down over, because that's like telling me I should be a slave or something. I'm not doing it. But, you know, if you're telling me like, oh, we need better jaywalking laws, like, we can have that discussion. That's not a big deal. But there is a line, and that line is authoritarian.
No, you know what? Weirdly enough, that's a line for me. We need better jaywalking laws. Like, who the fuck is worried about that? Unless by that you mean let's just remove them, because as Hannibal Buress says, that's a fucking fantasy crime. Then you want to double down on the jaywalking crimes? What the fuck is, you know what? You get to go to jail.
No, I think we should have, like, I think everything, there should be no more stoplights or stop signs. We should just have either the equivalent of Darwin's rule for everything. That's one, or the second best option, which would be roundabouts. Everything should be roundabouts.
Oh, fuck yeah. Anything pavement just needs to be like the high seas. It's just no man's land. If anything that happens there, you're on your own.
I think so. In fact, not only that, I think it should be like Mad Max. I should be allowed to be driving around with my friends on the back with those, you know, the dudes with the spears with the grenades on the end, and just have people like, you know.
Oh my God. I would say...
You want to be the guitar guy? Why do I feel like you want to be the guitar guy?
Witness me.
Yeah. I love that that's actually a cake spray. I fucking love that exists. There is a silver spray that is for cake. Yes, you can look it up.
Oh my God, I'm getting one. Hold on.
It does exist. It's like cake paint spray or something like that. And you put it on fondant.
Okay, well, I will absolutely not use it with fondant, but oh my God. Yeah, no, it's right here. Oh my God, it's like $11 for a 1.5 ounce can.
Yeah, I just thought of this. If I had thought of this early enough, we could have got you that, and I could have told you to do some white face paint. You could have been that dude today, because you got enough. You got just enough of that look to be one of them. Just enough. You're not bald or anything, but everything else it just fits. You could be my black thumb.
I don't know if you could say that.
What would it be? What kind of thumb would it be? Actually, be a wood thumb, wouldn't it?
I don't even know what we're talking about anymore.
You don't know the
when should I
Fury Road? You just said witness me. What the fuck are we talking about? I'm confused too now.
I don't know. Thumbs got involved, and it's been a while, man. I don't know. Oh, DH cannot talk about Dune. No. You know what? Fuck that. You could talk about Dune. I know what happens. What the fuck am I worried about?
Okay, actually, I was tempted to do a whole video about it, but I put off on it. I decided not. I'm sort of on a mini vacation the last week or so, because like I kind of needed it. I realized that I haven't been doing enough self-care, and I've been doing a lot of like, what does this asshole want now? Fucking drama, fucking drama. So I've been like tuned out of everything, and I didn't do any videos this week. I really should have. It's bad for my algorithm not to. But honestly, according to YouTube, my subs are way down anyway, no matter what I do. So it doesn't. I think I hit that mark where they're just like, okay, that's enough for him. He says, you know, I did a couple political streams. That's all it took. Like, and I watched my shit fucking get chopped in half like immediately. Always happens. You say the wrong things a few times on a stream, it's over. But No, I mean, I would love to talk about Dune. That motherfucker was finally the movie that should have been made. It's finally been made. Now, I liked Lynch's Dune. I hate to say it. I know a lot of people don't like that for some reason.
Oh, somebody's going to
Lynch's
clip
Dune.
that audio out of context. I like Lynch's.
Yeah, that's yeah, that's gonna happen. Well, anyway, I like David Lynch's Dune. I really did. Was it as good as the book? Was it the book? No, but I loved the way it looked. I loved the way it felt, and it was what I saw first before I read the book. And I liked what I saw. I thought it was really trippy and weird and fucking yes, Astartes. That's why I have that tattoo. I don't know if you can read it with the way I've got myself
Fear
positioned.
is the mind killer.
Yeah, that people are like, oh, what do you like, Fear Factor? I'm like, no, dude, this is from Dune, asshole. Idiot.
They think you're a fucking Rogan bro, but you're not.
No. Yeah, Astartes said it just right. Lynch's Dune was a valiant attempt, and Lynch was a pretty enlightened dude. If you're listening to him, he knew some shit. And he did a really good attempt. He really did. And I would have liked to have seen Jodorowsky's attempt, although I have a feeling it would have been just like one 12-hour long fucking, like, you need to be on acid and shrooms and everything all. You need a heroic dose to watch it and probably like it. However, everything that he's been involved in, especially comic book wise, is pretty incredible. Like, some of that shit's amazing. I got to get the Immortals, I think it's called. I forget. No, that's the damn Marvel movie. Well, hey, my algorithm just went back up. I said the Immortals, and now because YouTube wants to promote that crap, I'm sure it'll come up. What was it called? No, it was the it's a couple syllables. Oh fuck, what was it? Jodorowsky's comic with, oh my god, the demi-humans, the fuck, I'll never remember it now. But anyway, look up Jodorowsky's comics, you'll find it. It's really fucking badass. It's like Dune and 40K mixed together in like all the right ways. Let's see.
I'm trying.
Omega says, so Mr. Thorne, what games are you looking forward to being released this year? I'm looking forward to the new upcoming Pokemon and shit. Honestly, there's no video games looking forward to because my backlog is longer than this chat window right now. Like no joke. Like, unless it's a co-op game that I can play with Fleshy and my wife on Fridays, I don't play enough games. That's why this past week I dived back into Skyrim after buying Cyberpunk. So Fleshy's mad at me.
I'm not mad. I'm just happy that you're putting it off until the time is right.
Mm-hmm. Which will hopefully be when they actually fix it and it works good. But I think it's been working good for a while now. So it can't be any more buggy than Skyrim was or Fallout was. So I don't know. Like, that's, people are like, oh, it's so buggy. I'm like, yeah, dude, I made it through Skyrim. It's fine.
Yeah, like the state. I'm not going to pretend that it's perfect, but it's a fucking open world game. Like, give it some slack. Mm-hmm. Like, in terms of bugs, current Cyberpunk is not nearly as bad as Skyrim still is.
Good point. Yeah. And I love a good modded Skyrim. You know, I really watch it, Dan. I like a good modded Skyrim job. It's really good stuff. But yeah, no, going back to Dune, I don't know what people's problem with Villeneuve is, or how he pronounces his name. I actually liked his take on Blade Runner. I know that's sacrilege to Blade Runner fans. I know that a bunch of people probably just unsub me for saying that. But I actually really enjoyed his take on the series, mainly because of the artistic way he did it. I know that people will watch it and be like, oh, it's not that deep compared to the original. And well, how do you expect it to, like, the original broke the ground? It's going to be hard to beat that. Mm-hmm. Like, I mean, I know that some people, you know what it is? It's you know, it's that thing of high expectations, you know, and people, like, this is why I would never want to be that guy who does, you know, any kind of derivative fiction making. I would never want to do that, because you're going to piss off some fans, and if they piss off the right ones, they get a big platform, and it sucks. But I liked the Blade Runner. I don't know if you call it a reboot or remake, because it wasn't either one. I liked the sequel, I guess, Blade Runner 2043. I liked it.
I gotta watch it. I've been meaning to.
I think you're gonna like it. I mean, to me, the combination of art and music and acting was perfect, and it did that thing that I like movies to do. It immersed me in another world. I felt like Kay. I completely felt him. I was like, dude, I know this guy. I know this guy's pain. It's like high school. He's like this freaking badass, but he's got to like, you know, not talk to people and shit. It's fucking sick. He's like second class. It's so fucking great. So I think it was a gorgeous movie. And yes, I get it. Maybe people wanted more of the original Blade Runner and that's why they didn't like it. I guess maybe people were expecting more Harrison Ford. I think people were expecting more of a film noir in the future. I think that's what it was. And they didn't get that.
It's also like if you want more of the original still exists.
Mm-hmm. That too. So with Dune, on the other hand, there's nothing to compare it to except for David Lynch's version, which most people, it's got a camp following, but it doesn't really have, it kind of bombed, right? It was literally a bomb. I loved it, but it was a bomb. The new Dune, like Eddie and I, like, you know, and like the three of us love Dune. You've never read it, but you love Dune too. We all love Dune.
I've never read Dune, but I have had Dune thoroughly explained to me book by book.
Yeah, you know more about Dune than I do in some ways because of that, but you won't know a scene. It'll be like, yeah, I don't know what you're talking about, but you'll know all the details. Like you've done all the cliff notes.
Yeah, exactly. But
so the new Dune was, like Eddie said, I've been waiting my whole life for this movie, and it didn't disappoint me. There was literally, even if they don't finish it, I know they will now, so I'm happy. But even if I don't get to see the end, for whatever reason, the world comes to an end, I die, meteor lands, whatever the fuck happens, what I've seen is enough that I can play the rest of the head movies in my head, and it's going to be awesome. Like, I can see how it's going to get finished. The only thing I'm questioning is why didn't they have, well, I don't know if you didn't see it, so I don't want to give any spoilers away to anybody who hasn't seen it. But I will say that there's definitely some things that I was wondering why they chose to do and then not to do. So what I will say is they didn't change anything significant enough from the book that it changes the plot beyond a few scenes in the movie that weren't in the book and so on. But they don't change the plot. Like,
I think
the plot points are still there, but they go a different way to get there. Does that make sense?
And I think we talked a little bit about this before you watched the movie, but knew some things that, like some choices they made of, and maybe I'm wrong on this, but from that conversation, it sounded like the details that were changed were all superfluous details. Correct. That did not matter as the characters or stories were. Yep. Like, these were the details which were changeable.
I would say exactly that, and they were completely changed. So there's some extended things that didn't happen in the books, and then there's some things that did and that were really fleshed out well. I'm just gonna say that visually the movie was like, visually was probably the most powerful part of the movie. Like the visual, not just its practical effects with digital, and they did it perfectly. And some of the scenes, there's a scene where Vladimir Harkonnen's floating down a hallway with his soldiers, and it was like a Frazetta painting or something. Not Frazetta because he's more like into naked people, but you know, it was like a Royo or a Frazetta. It's like a heavy metal cover. It was just so like, oh, that is just so cool. There's a scene where they're this is in a trailer somewhere, or you can find this. This isn't like a spoiler. There's a scene where they're on oh fuck, the training planet for the Sardaukar, Secundus, something Secundus. It's like a sacrifice scene, and it's like, oh dude, that is just like Warhammer 40K on steroids. Like, holy shit. Like, just really, really good stuff. And I'm not even into 40K, and I know that 40K ripped off a lot from fucking Dune at this point. So, beautiful movie. The music was good. The movie was incredible, like the visuals. And I don't know why people are talking about genitals all of a sudden.
We got onto a cyberpunk rant in the chat.
Oh,
so
man.
It's about how you could choose your genitals in that game.
Oh, well, you know, you can choose your genitals in that Conan game that we liked, and you always got to take the elephant trunk if you don't have an elephant trunk. down there, and you got to take the little micro peepee if you've got the elephant trunk. So
Isn't it weird that when the games give you a choice of schlong size, you either got to go maximum small or
maximum
like
big.
the ankle tickler. There is no anything in between is weird.
Clan Vulcanar, my friend, of course. I mean, why would I ever go Dawnguard? That's so lame. Oh, I'm going to kill vampires. Yeah, Dan Helsing, this asshole. In fact, I used the Second Life mod serial on Skyrim, and I start as a basic vampire, and I work my way up to the vampire lord.
So I think I'm going to drop a question. We've been going for a little while, so I think I am going to take my plunge into pain soon.
Yeah, I think that's a good idea.
Before I do that, I am going to use the bathroom while I know these hands are still safe and not contaminated by Reaper.
A wings place in the town I grew up. It's called Totally Wings. They're not there anymore. And they had a sign on the door. And it was in big, bold letters. Big, bold letters. If you got the insanity sauce, wash your hands first thoroughly with hot water and the special soap in the bathroom. We are not responsible. Big, bold letters.
Are you talking about Dave's insanity sauce?
No, this was, no, it was something that they made themselves. This was back in the 90s. Maybe it was, but it was something, nah, dude, this was in the before 4 times, man. This was way back. Early mid 90s, I guess. So I don't know if Dave's Insanity sauce even existed.
Maybe, I don't know. But yeah, I learned that the hard way because for those of you who don't know, Dave's Insanity sauce is a hot sauce in which they basically, you can do this thing to artificially enhance the heat of just taking chili oil, which is you infuse a bunch of chilies in alcohol, burn off the alcohol, and then the oil that remains, drop that in something, and it's fucking nuclear. It's basically straight pepper spray, pure capsaicin.
Well, you could always hit a little bit of pepper spray in your hot sauce if you don't think it's.
But yeah, I got some of that shit because I was handling it and trying it, and then I forgot to wash my hands, and I accidentally rubbed that shit in my eye. Like I've had. Yeah, I'm careful about this shit. So I am going to drop a question on you. Then I'm going to take my opportunity to use the bathroom while I'm still safe and come back.
This question's going to piss me off. That's why you're going to drop it like a grenade and run.
So this one comes from Wyatt Coverdale. Says, I sometimes refuse to transcend even when something I don't like is happening because I grow attached to that reality. Does that happen to anyone else? And following that question, is it okay to resort to magic as a means of escape?
I think it happens to everybody constantly. I think that's why we're all here. I think you all secretly know that what I'm telling you is true, and you're not jumping into transcendence because you're enjoying the shit show, quite honestly. I think a lot of, I think I can prove this quite readily, actually. You know how I can prove it readily? You know how many times people will tell me that they're sick of all the drama in the community, that they don't know why everybody's fighting and they can't stand it anymore? They can't stand seeing it. They think that everyone should just get along. You know why that's really funny to me? Because my channel and my other things, I can actually see the engagement that happens. And you know what has sometimes 3 times as much engagement? Whenever it's drama-based. Everybody sitting here listening to me right now, you can tell me all day long that you just want peace, but if that was true, you wouldn't be here. You want to have the anxiety, you want to have the depression, you want to have the pain because you know why. This is really simple. The reason you want those things is because it intensifies the feelings of pleasure. This is why you want these pains. This is why you want this. If you don't have the potential of suffering, you can't have the potential of ecstasy. You have to have both. And to have both, that means you really got to have the one too. You can't just have a little dab of pain and then pleasure. It doesn't work that way. So you're here precisely because without all of this chaos, and I don't mean chaos in the traditional sense, because chaos in the traditional sense means gap. Chaos in the modern sense, the disorder sense. You like all this insanity because it frames the sanity. It makes you feel more valid. It makes you feel better to be a victim. It makes you feel better to be successful. If you didn't have a hill to climb, you wouldn't care about reaching the top. You would just be, oh, I guess I'm at the top now, right? If you didn't have to go through the process of climbing to reach the top of a mountain, nobody would do it. That's a fact. I'm telling you right now, if you didn't have to climb, you might do it, but nobody would feel special about it. You would do it just to see it. But you wouldn't sit there and plant the flag and go, look, I climbed Mount Everest. You just blink to the top of Mount Everest and be like, hey, here I am.
It'd be like bragging about walking to the other side of the room of just, guys, I've been to that corner. Cool.
A Serial's going to fall asleep to us. It's his ASMR. I want him on so he falls asleep while we're talking. That's what I want to do. A Serial, get with my fleshy wingman here. Let's set you up for like next week or the week after. We'll see if my schedule's clear.
I'll hit you up on Instagram.
Yeah.
Or Discord if you're on it.
Yeah, he is on Discord. He doesn't use it much, but he's like a boomer on Discord. Fleshy DHS. But if you haven't heard his voice, he's the one. Like I think if he gets on, especially with a good mic, he's gonna be like Behemoth X. Like he's gonna have that voice where we're all just gonna be like,
just read me
say
the
something
phone
in
book.
German. Yeah, say something. Yeah, read me the phone book in German. No, not the Angry Bird German. No. Oh. But,
Be like Till Leiterman. Just say something, but make it hurt a little.
Ooh. All right,
I think
Fleshy,
Jen just popped into the chat.
So we were just talking about pain and the pleasure and the flip-floppy nature of all of that. You know, why people don't transcend. It's because they enjoy the chaos. They enjoy the pain. They do.
Nope.
I know that people like will
Run away.
I've worried about saying that because I know some people that maybe are, well, into taking baths with toasters and stuff. They really think that that's a good idea, or they've been there and they've almost done it, or anything like that. Some people have a deep victim mentality where even if you tell them what I just told, well, I almost did that, so how dare you say that I enjoyed life is horrible. Well, why are you here? I mean, it's kind of one of those provable things, you know? All right, Fleshy, take over. Tell us what you're doing.
I am suddenly very nervous, even though I have done this before. So this actually come up quite a few times where we've had the opportunity to transition into this talk. And yes, I did put on gloves because I'm not going to fuck around with this shit. This is a fucking Reaper.
Especially if something happens and you've got to like rub your face balls.
Yeah, like I want to have the opportunity to, you know, use the bathroom or rub my eyes later if need be, and trust it. So yeah, we were talking.
My mouth is watering. Is that bad? Because I do like spicy food.
Ooh, you should have one then. It actually, so for those of you who don't know, a lesson, the spiciness that you feel with peppers is capsaicin. So there are technically peppers that are hotter than this, but it hasn't been officially concerned or officially verified for one reason or another. So as of right now, this is the spiciest pepper in the world. Is there a point where it just doesn't matter anymore? Like
pure capsaicin. But I mean, does 10,000 versus 20,000 even matter, or is it just hell on earth no matter which one you pick?
I mean, I don't know. I think some of them just hit different because I'll say this is not my first time eating a Reaper, and I was expecting a lot worse. Like, I have actually had dried ghost peppers, which were worse than this, I think, for me. I'll say this, though. The mouth pain is nothing compared to the fucking stuff it does to your body.
And that's why I won't do it. Like, I have no problem because I've had, we'll just say, calamities.
Yeah, no. If you
the mouth part, like, bite and spit out, I might do, but I wouldn't. I wouldn't swallow that shit.
Anybody who's curious about doing it, it actually, I know it's going to sound like bullshit. It actually does legitimately taste fucking amazing. Bite into it, chew it up, and then spit it out if you want to avoid the worst of it. Because
I know it probably doesn't compare at all, but like atomic fireballs, I used to just like pack my mouth with them, like just all of them. And I know it doesn't compare, but you know, like you reach a point where you don't taste the spice anymore. It's just good. Like I love that part.
Is that a Dune reference?
No, but it is now.
But yeah, so you know what? I'll stop fucking delaying it. We've been talking about the idea of the tower and the idea of pain and what that can mean
I'm
for
reading
us
your
and
energy.
whatnot.
Your energy is saying that your heart rate just accelerated, your breathing just changed too. This is getting me excited. There's a little bit of nervousness. You're not sweating, but there's some glistening. You're acting like my friend when he would do 80 miles an hour in a 30. That's how you're acting right now. Like there's a little tension, but there's like an eagerness.
Yeah, because I want to do it. It's glorious. I know it's going to fucking hurt me. And I'm doing it on camera for all of you fuckers to enjoy. You fucking
So let's preface
bastards.
this. Why would you do this? Is this to, so what is you wanted to make this, I know you wanted to show off this part, but there was also something spiritual and magical involved. Do you want me to wait until you're actually in agony to start telling us the spiritual part, or do you want to tell us that first?
I'm going to start doing that, and I'll probably be over quick. I don't even know if I'll be able to remember everything I wanted to say, so you're probably going to have to take over for me because my mind is probably just going to go. So feel free to hit me with it, whatever questions you want, because my defenses are probably going to be down.
I'm going to mute myself. You're just going to see my mouth moving. I want this to. This is just fleshy gnosis. This is just all fleshy gnosis.
So, right now the capsaicin in this reaper, it's binding to the receptors in my mouth, convincing me that what I'm eating is a dangerous fucking temperature. And my brain is about to start flooding my body with dopamine and endorphins to counteract the pain. And as I write it all out, I'm going to chew real quick, so I'm not talking with my mouth full. Oh, that's a spicy bitch. So I'm going to have to start writing out this pain. And when I'm all through with it, there's got to be nothing left but all those endorphins and dopamine, leaving me with nothing but a feel-good sensation that will make it all worth it in the end. And there's a thing that, oh fuck, whew. I think the last ones I got weren't shit. This was a good one. Whew. There's a guy like Maynard once said, fucking, this body holding me reminds me of my own mortality. Embrace this moment. Remember, we are eternal. Pain is an illusion. Fuck. Oh my God. I might actually go for milk. Holy shit. Do you know that thing about the Shaolin monks? This is weird not hearing you. The Shaolin monks used to punch the shit out of things and leave microfractures in their bones. And they become stronger and stronger because of it. Every now and then, exposing yourself to pain is fucking good, because by the end of it, you become stronger. You realize that fucking, oh my God, the nose running I can't deal with. By the end of it, you realize all that was just bullshit. You come out better for it. Your new fucking existence. I'm getting tissue. You fucking take over for me.
So Fleshy just experienced level 1 of childbirth. I want to thank Fleshy for the show. That is a first on this channel, besides me slicing my arm open with a knife or something. That is a first on this channel that someone has committed something so vile to their body and done it so happily. Let's just see. I've heard toothpaste, peanut butter, milk, but I think peanut butter is what everybody's recommending. I think the oil lifts the oil up and like kind of pulls the oil away, because peanut butter is very oily. So I don't think he can hear me right now. I think he's just going to pace around and just think about the mistakes that he's made in his life, sort of rethink some things, you know. Yeah, so what do you guys think? I mean, shit, he didn't even ask for a super chat. Nothing, not even one. Y'all just sitting here watching this man burn his mouth out, and And he didn't even turn red. I turned more red than he did. I like your door back there. It looks like the aliens had just showed up.
Oh, fucking no kidding. Whew, oh my God, I legitimately got a really good one that time.
Yeah, I don't know how I don't know if I can do that, dude. I really don't know. I mean, I can't eat anything that hot. That's impressive. Well, you are a veggie type, so I hear that y'all are used to that. Oof. Yeah, another break.
Yeah, I'll be back.
Hopefully, his stomach will be okay. Like me, if I eat just like a habanero pepper or something, like my guts just turn inside out. Like it doesn't even matter. Like my mouth is like, well, that was pretty good. And my body's like, fuck you. Just can't do it. Like I'll wharf for no reason. So what do you guys think? We got Wyatt Coverdale giving us claps all over the place. Eric O'Shea says that I'm eating scorpion. I eat it all the time. I'm impressed. I'm not saying I could do that shit. I'm impressed. Hopefully he lives from that. Yeah, I don't know. So how many of you guys have ever done really, really hot peppers like that? Let's see. Anybody? Anybody? Eden Garden says, it's coming out hot. He didn't mute anything, so if he's like puking right now, we won't know. I think he's going to get something like milk. I bet you that's what he's doing. Yeah, I bet you that's what he's doing. So leave him your best comments. He's going to read them through when he comes back. So give him your best comments. This way, when he comes back, we'll have something to talk about. What do you guys think of my pumpkin? Not a bad pumpkin for I haven't carved one in 5 years. It's not too bad. If you have a lot of mucus, you're going to need to spit, blow nose for a bit. I think that's true. One time I did something like that, and I was just like my nose was running for hours. And Jed says, "Nope, I'm weak." Yeah, I know. Like I feel like a pussy now. Greg says, "Ghost pepper was the hottest he's done." Actually, Victorious, I think if it was the Kofi germ, I think it would have been killed by the Reaper. To be honest, I think the Reaper would have killed it. Serial says, "I ate the ghost pepper before. I felt like I was gonna die." Try some Trinidad's. My wife, I think, had some Trinidad's. We were gonna make stuff out of it, and it really wasn't that impressive. I think when we cooked it, we must have ruined it somehow. Like somehow we made it not so hot. I used to have bottles of Trinidad Scorpion hot sauce, and I liked it, but I didn't use a lot. I would just use a couple of drops on things and smear it around so it got spread out, and it was just good then. I just considered really hot pepper stuff, to me, that's just like really cost-efficient hot sauce because you just need a drop or two, and you don't have to use the whole thing. Ah, smoking ghost peppers? Oh, yeah, I bet you that would kill the guy, Cereal. You're right. Yeah, my wife's saying she grew them. She grew them from seed, the Trinidad Scorpions that we used. So, I don't know, maybe we got one that was defective. Maybe she did it wrong. She's going to hit me. Watch a sock coming from off camera hit me in the face. Yeah, Cereal, because I think it's kind of like smoking, like if you want to fuck somebody up, don't, actually, you know what? I shouldn't say this on YouTube. I shouldn't say this on YouTube at all. I'm not even going to say anything. But I will say that, you know, there's a lot of things that if it burns and you inhale the smoke, it's potentially fatal. You know, that grows naturally, we'll put it that way. So. Yeah, you know, the thing with, the Hermit says Vietnam POWs ate peppers to get rid of intestinal worms. There's that, but there's also, one of the reasons why they put ginger with sushi was because if you eat the ginger with it, that's supposed to help neutralize a lot of the parasites because it's toxic to the parasites. So you're actually supposed to be eating that relish with it for that reason. Yeah, I heard him blowing his nose, Jen. He sure did. Man, you guys are making me hungry, and I ate too much today. My wife and I went to this place, and we got what we thought was a salad and a meal. Well, no, we got like the Caesar salad and meal, so we effectively had 2 meals. And did we not eat the whole thing? Did we like take it home? No, we ate the whole damn thing at the same time. So we had 2 meals for lunch and then a regular dinner, and now I'm freaking hungry because of Fleshy. You know what it is? Hot sauce makes me hungry. We used to have this place that we used to go to at one of my jobs. It was some kind of, you know, Tex-Mex place. It was run by this guy from India, actually, which was really the funny part. It's like this Mexican food place, Spanish food place, run by this Indian guy. And he had this this buffalo quesadilla that he would have there. And I don't know what hot sauce they used. It was pretty freaking hot. And it was just one of my favorite things ever. It really was. Can we one day watch you slice your hand, says Eden Garden. You don't need to wait one day. Just go to King Vine, Evoking King Vine 101, and you'll see me slicing my shoulder. You don't even have to wait. It's right there. Not only did I slice my shoulder, but I used this bastard right here to do it. So. When I was in high school, one of the things that I was somewhat famous for was, and I shouldn't say, I have to be careful because I'm on YouTube. They'll be like, ooh, self-harm. Was people would pay me for acts of bravery with my body a little bit. You know, using pins and other things. You'd almost call me a cutter, but I wasn't quite. I wasn't really bad, but yeah. I hope he's okay. He's gone for a while now. I feel like I should go to his house, but he's really far, so I gotta wait. Let's look at his room. What's he got in his room there? I see a shelf with a lot of wine. It looks like wine. I don't know if that's wine, but it looks like wine. Debbie Izzadine says, I bet there's nothing alive in his stomach now after that. Well done. Oh, man. I don't know why VK does it that way. For me, it's because I can cover it up with my sleeve if it gets scarred up. That's mainly why. It's also not very painful on the shoulder.
For an experience for you?
Oh, you lived?
I lived. I had to tap out, and I went to get some milk. Like, oh, I don't buy milk very often, but I remember I have a jug. It was expired.
Oh,
I started drinking curdled milk. I was so focused on the relief of milk, I didn't notice it was curdled.
Oh, that's nasty. You're still drinking it too, aren't you?
No, this is my roommate's. So yeah, that was not how I expected the Reaper to go after that.
I know you tried one already, so maybe you had like what we had. We had like a weak one when we did it.
Yeah, I think the last time I got a weak one, this one was, whew, spicy.
CM Helnikainen with the $5 bill says, monetary compensation for your self-inflicted pain, Fleshy. I'll make sure that $5 finds the right place, CM. He'll get that $5.
Appreciate you. Sorry to leave you hanging like that. I think you understand.
Oh, I do. I definitely do. I'd be puking at this point.
There was a little bit of dry heaving, but I think that was more from the milk than anything.
Astarte gives you ice cream. So now you're up to 833.
So yeah, the joys of pain. Now I'm feeling really fucking great. I want to run a lap or something.
You know, I'll say, like, if you've ever had a really bad stomach ache, really bad, like doubled over pain, and then it goes away. When it goes away, it's like euphoria beyond euphoria. It's like, it's like taking a big shit.
Yeah, I was about to say, it's like taking a really big shit after you've been blocked up. Mm-hmm. Or like the,
Ooh, there it goes.
Yep, no, it begins, round 2. It's like...
You know why that's happening? Because your guts are going, as it hits it, it's like, oh, fuck that, and creating a space, just pulling air in, and trying to like envelop it with space.
You know what? I just remembered, too, the one thing that I've heard with the Reaper is that you got to make sure you thoroughly chew it to avoid the stomach issues, and I didn't because I was trying to get through it to talk.
Oh,
so
no.
I hope I kept you entertained.
Man, the things you do for $15, you're as bad as I was when I was a kid.
I'm just Chat's dirty little slut.
That's what I was. That's what I was saying. Like, I used to do stuff I can't even say on YouTube. Oh, nothing sexual, guys. Get it over it.
Mouse is picking his eyebrow.
Oh, my mouse is getting your eyebrow fleshy. I just realized. Here, let me help you.
Oh, thank you. Yes, wipe me.
You got some runny thing going on there.
Everything else I could deal with, but the runny nose fucking sucks, dude.
Yeah, I can imagine. Like, that's definitely something that happens. Your whole sinus releases all the mucus, I bet. Oh.
Oh yeah, you feel so clear though. I just want to take a Reaper and dip it in with some wasabi. That's like better than a juice cleanse. Everything clears right the fuck out.
Wasabi is one of my guilty pleasures when it comes to, like, you know what I love? If I'm not feeling good, I'll go intentionally and get sushi. And I will make sure I get a little extra wasabi and I'll stick it on something. And I'll put it in dry and go like right to the back of my mouth, the top back, and just really just and like get it in. Ooh, and then like the eyes water and everything. Oh, it feels so good. Just cleans it right out.
Fucking, as you said that, I just found some fucking seeds.
Oh shit. Oh,
Ooh,
nothing
okay.
like pepper seeds to make me puke. So a serial Krabat doesn't understand our ages. A serial, how old do you think we are? I love this question because part of my vanity kicks in. How old do you think we are? Now that I said that, that'll give you like a little psychic hit on what to say. How old? Everybody in the chat who's never heard our ages before, tell me how old you think both of us are. Give me a Fleshy is and a Thorne is, and let's see what the consensus is. And we'll see. Maybe we'll do it when somebody gets it right. We'll make you eat another one. I'm just kidding.
You know, originally that was my plan because last time, like first time, I didn't even need to go for milk, and I've had a couple since then, but they were all from the same batch, so it's like this isn't so bad. That one was a milk one. Holy shit! I was originally going to like, oh yeah, here's one, and oh, I'll just eat another one. 15 and 17. Oh my god.
That's good. That's good. Max funny. Eden Garden says, Thorne, thanks for teacher how to properly cut yourself. Oh, careful. I would never on YouTube do such a thing. I will tell you what I've done. You know. Let's see. Who's got it close? Who's got it close? Ooh.
I'm not going to confirm the exact number of my age, but I will put you in the ballpark.
Man, people are all over the place. Some people are insulting me today. Some people are insulting me. My goodness. At least I'm not getting the 20s today. Usually I get the 20s.
You look younger than you are, I think.
Oh, I do. Not by that much today, though. Okay,
yeah.
So it...
People were mostly right with me. I'm in my late 20s.
Yeah, and some people just about hit me on the head. I'm 44. So very well done, guys. At least it wasn't as bad. Sometimes people get like totally shocked when I say I'm 44. Other times people are like, oh, that's what I thought. Thorne is 783. Actually, you know what? I've had people tell me that I must be an antediluvian, actually. I must be very ancient.
Whew. I'm sorry, this is going to be more you than normal tonight. My brain
I don't
is just
know. I
fucking...
don't feel very talkative tonight. I feel like I just want to just mellow and chill out tonight. I want more questions in the chat. Give me questions and comments in the chat to read out.
Give me 1 second.
Nothing from Wyatt. He's used up his 3 questions for the night.
That's all I had on standby. It's from Wyatt.
Wyatt's like that kid in the class that like ooh me, ooh.
Yeah, so if you guys have any questions that you want us to ask, go ahead and...
Or any topics. Yeah, any topics or questions. Ooh, that's juicy.
Oh boy. I'm gonna get some Tums.
I thought you said tongue.
Also, yes. You know, I didn't prepare at all for this. I was just like, I'll do the Reaper. What's the worst that could happen?
Well...
Ooh, I got a spicy one, though.
You're going to have a spicy one later, too, I'm sure.
Oh, yeah, no, that's guaranteed.
I mean, yeah. All right, let's see. Let me read some comments here. Everything's on the table. What do you guys want to talk about? Let's see. Nice burp, Jen says. Pepto-Bismol. Wyatt says, too late, my tomfuckery is infinite, Thorne. I am a shadow of crappy questions. Oh, Jay Thomas is trying to butter me up. He says, damn, Thorne, you must be a vampire or something. How do you look so young? I don't really do anything. I mean, I do everything wrong. I smoked until I was 30-something.
I see a question about using dreams to find out people's true intentions.
I mean, if you can control your dreams well enough to find out something like that, then go for it. I have a little trouble guiding my dreams. I just kind of dream crazy shit, wake up the next day and go, huh? You know, my dreams are not like they were when I was a kid. When I was younger, I had way more prophetic and powerful dreams than nowadays I dream dumb shit. You know, like I told you that one dream that I had where I had to go find my kid and he was like in this big 5-story like apartment building.
Yeah, I remember
like,
that.
And on like the 4th floor, it was like an old folks hospital thing. And it was for like fat old people, and like 2 big dudes were just bashing their asses together. Like, and I had to like pass through like some kind of a video game, and I got hit, and it was like the weirdest fucking feeling, just getting smushed by 2 big meaty asses, like the size of like Volkswagen like buses, just like people are gonna be LOLing like crazy. But that was a dream. Go rewatch the dreams video.
Yeah, the one we did with Camilla.
Yeah.
David's Gmail asks, what do you think of the Gnostic sort of thing where the whole secret is rejecting reincarnation after you die and anything spiritual do on this earth doesn't matter?
You know, I get a kick out of when beings that are incarnate tell you what is more superior to being incarnate. Why do I say it like that? Let's think for a minute. Really, that's just a bunch of wishful thinking. Why do I say that? That's a bunch of egoistic thinking. Why do I say that? Why am I saying that? People who say that, if you think that the goal and purpose of this life is to escape it and reach nirvana and to deny reincarnation and all of this, that is putting you at the mercy of something external to yourself. So it's not a non-dual statement. That's like saying, you know, that this whole world, I call it spiritual nihilism, is what it feels like to me. Not that I have anything against Zen Buddhists and stuff who have that, you know, nirvana ontology, but my problem with it is it's putting the carrot on the end of a very long stick and saying that the goal is to die. The goal is to disappear. No, you fool, of course not. If you are the divine, if you are the source, if you're the monad, if you are the Brahman, if you are chaos, if you're the Atman, if you're all of this, the goal is to be exactly what you are. There is no goal higher than what you are. To say that your goal is to be to thwart reincarnation and to never come back is asinine and stupid, because that is not what's happening, obviously. Then that would mean no one has done it, because time is an illusion in every single mystical culture that's worth its salt. They know that time is an illusion. Time is a thing that we experience, but it's not real. So this idea that you must become the Buddha and never come back is silly, because when you achieve this state of nirvana, time ceases to matter. So you realize that you're everything and nothing all at once. So you do reincarnate. You are you're all of it. I think it's silly. I think it's a silly thing to I think it's, you know what it is? It's, and I'm sure that'll insult people who are into Gnosticism, and forgive me, but it's just my opinion on it. When I think of it, it's really, here's what I think's really going on. I think that there are blinds and also traps placed in these traditions that should know better. And they place these blinds / traps because they're hoping to test you. If you're the type of person that thinks that you must improve and achieve nirvana and leave this behind and never come back to stop reincarnating, if you're that type of person, that means you are still stuck in the ego trap. You're still stuck in the trap. In fact, the trap is that much tighter around you now, because now you think there's a way out. So it's really a way to confront you with an impossibility. It's a way to confront you with something you can't actually do. And in the process, they say, there's a statement Alan Watts says, a fool who persists in his folly will eventually become wise. It's a very wise saying, because it's very true. Sooner or later, a fool who keeps doing the same thing over and over again will figure it out. Okay? No matter how stupid you are. Either that or you die. Then you get to start over anyway.
Can bash your head against the wall 1,000 times and become the master of it.
Basically. So, this is why, in my opinion, in a lot of those Zen traditions, only the ones who get up and stop facing the wall are the ones who actually achieve it. The ones who sit there forever going, they'll never get it. Never. Never going to happen. The one who gets up and says, this is stupid, it's impossible, and walks away, in that moment, they've just become enlightened for a brief moment. They've put it down. They let go. They let go of the trap. And in so doing, now they can be free. Now there's hope for them. Another way to put it is, so long as you're trying to be free and to stop reincarnating, you never will achieve this. Another saying that's important is, how would something that's imperfect recognize perfection? How would something that is trapped know what it means to be free? Something that's never been free, how would they know what it's like to be free? A person born in a prison would never know that getting out of the prison matters. This is not a prison. This life is not a trap. This is not a flesh prison. This is not something that you need to escape. I gotta take this off, by the way. It's giving me a headache. This is not something that you are meant to escape. That's not why you're here. Not in that way. You're meant to battle against it, yes. You're meant to experience it, though. You're meant to feel the burden of mortality, because you're also meant to just gradually learn ways to get around it. And in those victories, you have pleasure. And then in the failures, you have more pleasure, believe it or not. That's the cycle of samsara. That's only hell to someone who thinks that they're not supposed to experience that. That's why I said in Become the Maelstrom, the reason that we suffer is because we think we're not supposed to, and for no other reason. There's literally no other reason. And I'm willing to put all kinds of money on that statement. There's no other reason for suffering other than the fact that you think you're not supposed to suffer. In other words, you wouldn't suffer if you didn't think you were, if you thought, hey, you know what, I'm supposed to suffer. You'd accept the suffering, wouldn't you? And in so doing, you wouldn't suffer it so much, wouldn't you? The relief would happen. It's only because you and I and everybody secretly think, I'm not supposed to have a bad day. Of course you're supposed to have a bad day, you idiot. Of course you are.
It's just like when people have a bad 5 minutes and milk it for an entire day. The addiction to suffering. It's like, I'm supposed to suffer right now.
You know, and that's really what it boils down to. And that's the ego talking. Now, there's nothing wrong with ego. Like we do a lot of this talk about ego, and some people have like thought they were kind of trapping me because they don't understand ego well enough to understand what I'm saying. A lot of people say, well, Thorne, you know, I thought you were left hand, but you're all into this rejoin with the source shit. I have never said rejoin with the source. It never came out of my mouth once. I'm telling you, you're already the source. You can't stop being the source no matter how hard you try. You're it. You can't stop being the source any more than you can stop being the consciousness that you are and change to a smaller, different consciousness. Like, you can't budge your consciousness off. Okay? You're always that consciousness. You're always the source. So, no, I don't believe in that escapist, nihilistic philosophy. I really don't, and I never will. It seems very, very, very tempting on the surface. But why do you want to escape? Who do you think escapes? That's why it's a trap. They tell you over and over and over again, you don't exist. You don't exist. Here, this is how you escape. Guys, get it, please. Please think. If you don't exist, how can you escape at all? There's nothing to escape. It's a blind. It's a blind. It's a trap. It's a dead end. It's meant to be that way. And Eden, so Eden says, so by not fighting the experience, we absorb it and move on from it. Yes, unless that's your goal, the irony goes. If you're intentionally letting go, you're not actually letting go. You can actually... I can tell you right now that every single one of you listening to me has experienced nirvana in your lifetime. You've experienced it. You just don't know it because you think it's supposed to be some kind of heavenly, beautiful thing. You don't realize you've experienced it at least once or twice, probably today, and don't know it because you're too busy ideating on what it means to be you rather than letting go of what you think you're supposed to be. Every single one of you guys here today, every single one of you has experienced a moment of complete and utter bliss where you've let go of all of your ideation and all of your sense of association. Maybe you were watching a movie, maybe you were taking a good shit, maybe you were driving down the road and you were completely just in the moment and just experiencing things as they are and just accepting things as they are. Well, maybe that's not the cosmic nirvana that they all advertise in all of these ontologies, but that is the closest that a living being's going to experience, is to let go of all of this stuff and just relax, accept and relax. And the irony is, if you try to do it on purpose, you're not doing it naturally. And if you're not doing it naturally, you're not actually doing it. So this is why it is said by some of us that all of these teachings, all of these practices, all of these meditations, all of these things, none of them cause you to become enlightened. What they do, it's putting you next to the place where enlightenment is so that you can catch it, if you want to think of it that way. It's like I say, you can't really catch fish in a desert. You got to go to the ocean. So it's really hard to achieve enlightenment if you're really hung up on yourself. It's really easy to catch enlightenment if you go and do these different kinds of practices. It makes it easier, but it doesn't cause it. None of this causes it. No matter how, there's an old saying by, I forget which exact Zen patriarch it is, no amount of polishing will turn I think it was a turd at the time, into a mirror. Well, no amount of meditation will achieve enlightenment. No amount of tantra will achieve enlightenment. What they do is they put you closer, more adjacent to that thing, because you're emulating something, or you're stripping away the distractions. That's the real power in it. This is why meditation is useful, because you're stripping away all of the distractions. So most of your egoism is habitual. Ego is really a habit. It's not a thing. It's not a person. It's not even your identity. Egoism is the habit of associating your divinity specifically with an individual identity and thinking that's all you are. Well, it's a habitual process. Well, one of the most powerful ways that we do that is with thinking. The more trapped you are on the thought processes, the more your brain habitually babbles at you, either in pictures or verbal, whatever, the more your brain is actively thinking, that's the more egoistic you're going to be. So when you enter a place of mindfulness, of any of these states where you're de-objectifying the thoughts, so the thoughts may come and go, but you're no longer fixated on them. When you're just there in your own emptiness and just experiencing life fully, whether it be with your eyes open or closed, or going into a deep trance, or dropping a freaking shroom or something. When you get into that, you get close to a moment of ego dissolution. Ego dissolution is the key. Every one of these ontologies requires what's called an ego dissolution. That is probably the only thing that I would say, until you've had that in your life somehow. Even if it was just you stood on the threshold of it, you don't even have to go all the way through it. Just realizing that you won't that you'll disappear, but your consciousness will remain afterwards. Just getting right up to that ego death moment, even if you turn back, just knowing that it's there is enough for people to boing, and it will click. That's a really important moment. And you don't need chemicals to do it. Almost all of these really cool traditions that people practice, be it Tantra, be it, Zen meditation, be it the whirling dervishes of the Sufis, they get their ecstasy state. These moments of letting go are when you're casting your fishing pole into the lake or the river or the ocean of enlightenment. And then it's whether you're going to catch it or not. And if you've caught it, you realize, so I know D.H. Thorne will never be enlightened because D.H. Thorne ceases to exist when enlightenment occurs. When enlightenment is happening, D.H. Thorne is let go. D.H. Thorne is not part of my conscious anymore. I am simply in the moment, be it either in a mindfulness way or in the deepest depths of nighttime sleeping, which is really the most awake you can be. So here's the thing, guys. I'm throwing a lot of gobbledygook at you, but these are all things that can be confirmed. And this isn't just my opinion. These are things that all of these wise people have been trying to tell you in different ways. My way is just a different way of saying the same thing. I'm chewing the cud of the ancients over again for you. I'm not saying anything new. This is why I tell people, stop judging people so much, including the people who are in my position as a teacher. And I don't even like that. I think I'm just an entertainer who says shit that sometimes people think is smart. Honestly, my ego wants me to think I'm a teacher. And every time I hear that come up, I go, nah, I'm an entertainer first and foremost. If just like Alan Watts, I love that thing Alan Watts did. I love that because that completely just takes out the whole premise. I'm not here to tell you what to think.
I noticed.
Oh, Willin Van says, even if you've experienced ego death, it's easy to fall back in the trap of me. You can remember the experience, but it doesn't exactly. In fact, if you're here, you're experiencing ego. Ego is not a thing you are. Ego is an inevitability of the mortal condition. So the goal is not to be without ego, by the way. That is not the goal. That is why that's a blind that they put in front of you and say the goal is to reach nirvana and be completely unified with. You're already unified with everything. You're already that. How dare you think you're not? That is so silly of you. That is a trap because they want to test you and call you out. Because so long as you're trying to reach for that infinity, you're not ready to grab it. This is why, I guess for me, I was lucky because when it happened to me, excuse me, I just did the thing I said that's not true. When it happened, and not to me because Thorne wasn't there at the time, but when it happened, I wasn't looking for it. I was watering a fucking bush. I had no idea what was coming. I was just like, whoa. I felt like, I don't know. I felt like Neo. Whoa.
Shit.
So this is why all of these people who judge people in my position or better than me, even like Sadhguru, I like to point out that he's probably a murderer, but I do that as a joke, even though it's probably true. Because if he's legitimately enlightened, then it doesn't matter. I don't judge him for it, if that makes sense. I know it sounds weird. I'm not a moralistic person. I've already established this. I really don't care. Just don't kill anybody I care about.
Not advocating.
Right. I'm not advocating shit. I'm just saying, okay, I can look past that, especially if it's a mistake. But let's say, for example, he is truly the guru that he presents himself to be. Okay, let's present for a moment. Don't judge anything that such a person does because you are under the false impression that enlightenment makes you a saint. Enlightenment does nothing of the kind. It has absolutely nothing to do with your behavior whatsoever. Enlightenment is a letting go of your mortal delusion of egoistic identity. That's what it is. Letting go is the point. It's not changing your lifestyle. That's not the point. People who make that the point, that's the blind and the trap again. That's for the people who come back from enlightenment and think that now I better improve because of it. You can sincerely tell when someone has had a true ego death experience. We know each other. Like you can sort of smell it, like you can see it. I've had people come to me be like, how much acid did you do? I'm like, none. Really? I thought you did. You just act like someone who did. Ah, I get it. Yeah, because I had that moment. That's why. Because I know that same thing you know. People who've done enough of those chems know. because they've had an ego disillusionment moment. They know what's beyond the gateless gate. They know. And you don't come back from that and look at the world the same way ever again. And it's not like all of a sudden you see ghosts everywhere in Hollywood. No, if anything, it's a little alienating. It's very lonely. Even when you encounter other people who know it, you realize you're talking to yourself in another body. It's a weird feeling. It's a really weird feeling. Because they'll say the same shit. You just spend time agreeing with each other. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Isn't that? Yeah, I know. It's really weird. So
kind of feels like doing this, huh?
Yeah, it really kind of does. It really kind of does. Dead Man says, is it okay to give in to your intrusive thoughts, or am I wrong to do so? It really depends on the meditation you're doing. My general thinking is this. I've trained myself from a very young age. I think I was 13 the first time I got my brain to shut up. Some people never do. I always find that amazing when I run into somebody who says they can't stop thinking. And they wear that like a badge of honor. Like, I can't stop thinking. I'm so proud of it. How do you live without being able to shut your thoughts? Like, just have peace in your head. How do you do that? Because I find it easier to have no thoughts in my head than I do to have thoughts. I actually have to sit there and try to have thoughts running through my head constantly. Unless I'm feeling anxiety or something, I have to try. And even if I'm feeling real anxiety, my brain blanks again. I go into like the Zen, like fight or flight mode. I'm not thinking, I'm just acting. So I don't know, I can't, like, it's been so long for me that like a running brain, you know what, you can ask my wife, because I'll tell her. I haven't been myself lately. You can tell because my brain's been running. You can probably tell I'm thinking again. Because I'm very, there's just a different way about me. There's just a different way. So, is it important to, it's not really, it really depends, because the goal is not to be without thoughts forever. That's not the goal. Don't misinterpret what I'm saying. Good night, Jen. I just see Jen saying goodbye. The goal is not to be without thoughts forever. The goal is to realize that you're still there, independent of those thoughts. You're not the thoughts, you're the emptiness around them. That's why I said in the book, again, Become the Maelstrom, you are not your thoughts, you're the spaces between your thoughts. You're not the echo, you're the thing that the echo is echoing in. Okay? You need to recognize that. And so long as you're identified with the thoughts, that's hard. So if you're having a hard time getting your thoughts to subside, stop trying. Instead, here's the easiest way to get the thought process train to sort of derail. Okay, you ready? It's really not that hard for most people when you do this. This is something that's found in transcendental meditation, but you don't need to do it in that mystical way. You can do this in just an intellectual way. Dead Man, the reason that it's going to be a battle is because you've made it a battle. So Dead Man says, trust me, I'm not proud of something. It feels more like a battle that's hard to control. The fact that you're trying to control it is why you can't do it. So instead of trying to control it, here's the trick. Are you ready? This is the trick I used when I was a young kid, and it worked for me the first try. Once you can learn to get your thoughts to subside and you're just experiencing the world without a mental blah, 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 or visual, however your thoughts work, because everybody's different. Most people I think are subvocal, but everybody's a little different. For me, I'm mostly subvocal. I don't think in pictures, I think in words. So once I figured out how to do that, even for a moment, it dawned on me I could do it again and again and again, and I didn't need the trick as much, and then eventually I don't need the trick at all. And then I realized if I can do it for a moment, I can do it for 2 moments, and 3 moments, and 5 moments, and 10 moments, and then eventually I got a couple of hours without any conscious thinking. And if I had a thought, it was a stray little word or two, and I just let them flow, and I ignored them. I let them happen, and I didn't pay attention to them. It's like imagine a baby crying on a plane, and you just kind of tune it out. That's kind of what you really, because here's the real secret. Your left brain is probably talking to itself all the time. The trick is that you're centering your consciousness so it's not fixated on the left brain nor the right brain. It's in the middle, and it can tune out the talking and stay in that central, the little membrane that keeps your brain, your halves together. Okay, so here's the trick. Are you ready? In transcendental meditation, what they'll use is a seed mantra, or your guru will give you a mantra, and it's usually one word. And what you're supposed to do is every morning and every night, you spend some time doing this. And you are meant to sit quietly. There's two different ways you can do it. You can either sit quietly and just fixate on that word over and over and over again, just and just fill your brain with just that word. Okay, fair. And then at some point you stop. When you stop, for a brief moment afterwards, there's going to be silence in your mind, I promise you. It may only be a 1 second or so, but it's going to be there, and you'll see it. You'll feel it. You go, wait a minute, I didn't have a thought for a second there. Oops. Good night, Camilla. We love you.
Night, Camilla.
So in that moment, you're experiencing emptiness in that moment after saying your mantra for the last time. The other version of it is to sit quietly, and anytime you have a stray thought, do your mantra. So once you're able to achieve that empty state, to maintain it, replace a thought with the mantra. Now there's other versions of meditation where you do a much more elaborate mantra. You'll do like you do a sutra or something like that. You'll do the whole thing. You just blah, 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 blah. And the reason you're doing that is because your brain usually runs on randomly, habitually thinking about shit. If you can focus it on something predictable, your brain gets trained to do things in a pattern. Anytime you pattern, it's easy to stop the pattern. Anytime you're habitual, it's harder to stop it. So think of it like this. Let's say you've got a bad habit like smoking or picking your nose or something stupid like that that you're ashamed of. The worst thing you can do is be like, stop it, stop it. That's the worst thing you can do. The best thing you can do is to replace it with a different habit, a different pattern, a different thing that's not even a habit, just a different thing that you replace it with. And if you really want to make it evil, if it's a bad habit, replace it with something painful. Like one of the ways I helped myself quit smoking was for like a month before I quit. I took rubber bands, kept them on my wrist, and every time I felt the urge to have a cigarette, every time I put that cigarette in my mouth, I would take this and just slap it as hard as I could so the pain would become associated with the cigarette.
Hey,
and subconsciously,
on topic.
And subconsciously, I think that trained me to think of cigarettes in a more negative way, and so it was easier to quit. So that's another way you can do it. But that's not healthy, honestly. That's only life or death. Don't do that for thoughts. Thoughts aren't like that. So in Become the Maelstrom, the technique I show you is very similar. It's a little bit more complicated, but just for reasons. I instruct you to fill your mind with a trinity, with a triangle. Visualize it in your mind, a trinity. Put your fingers together in a trinity shape. Repeat the word trinity as you breathe out. Breathe in and visualize the trinity and say trinity. And just fill your brain, all your senses. So the reason I do all three is because the three senses that we're most keyed in on at any moment are our mental space visually, our mental space vocally, and our physical space sensory. Smell is very important, but you can't smell a triangle, right? So we don't do that. So you visualize and you mentally say triangle and you feel a triangle. You can even see it in front of you if you want. And you just do this and you get it focused. And you focus and focus and focus and focus. And then when you feel the time is right, just stop. Just let it go one last time and see how long that emptiness lasts. If you don't experience emptiness, do it again. And just keep training yourself. Keep training yourself. Keep training yourself. You will find emptiness will happen, even just for the one thumb snap length. When you find that emptiness, the first thing that happens, ironically enough, is your first thought is usually, I stop thinking. That's usually the first thing that happens. Your first thought is, I'm not thinking. And yeah, basically, right. It's really funny. But once you've got that, it's literally, it's just like any skill, like riding a bike. Until you've ridden a bike without the training wheels, you can't do it. But then once you do it once, you'll be a little wobbly, but from then it's like guaranteed you'll be able to ride a bike from that point. You do it once, you got it. I see Fleshy's getting ready to burp out a Reaper.
Yeah, I'm having to mute myself because, man, my body's reacting. The pain is gone, but that's you know.
Wyatt says he must be a little different. He's a little different than me.
Yeah, I was about to say that the pain must make the sugar taste sweeter or something. Yeah, I don't. The rubber band thing I like, and I've heard about that before, but I also feel like if you have masochistic tendencies, then that might just
kind of backwards. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah. I can't argue with that. I ain't got nothing then for you there, but I didn't even know that was a thing. It just occurred to me one day. I was just sitting there at work going, you know, what if I start associating cigarettes with pain? Maybe that'll help. Fuck it, let's try it, Pop. And then I found out later that I think it is a thing you can look up that people do.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. So I think it works because it's really easy and it just makes sense to a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I quit cigarettes with fucking sunflower seeds.
When I quit, I went through a 3-pound bag of wintergreen lifesavers.
Oh shit.
A 3-pound bag. The whole thing. My teeth had a film on them. It was like you'd imagine. She's not even watching anymore, but she just yelled from the other room. It was like you had pearls in your teeth. Yeah, it's true.
So
she's tired, but I sense that she would love to be on just audio.
Man, if only I could too. I'm sitting here trying to think of like, how can I lay in bed right now and still be on my phone or something?
So let's do this. Instead of going for like the full 3 hours tonight, let's cut it. Let's give it like another 15 minutes or a half hour. What do you think? Because I wouldn't mind, because I got some stuff I want to do tonight. And you seem like you're fading a little bit.
I would selfishly love that just because body is not happy with me right now.
I completely understand. So all right, let's do this. Let's give it another half hour. Let's sell some crap real quick, and then we'll do another question or two. Maybe some people give questions to Fleshy about your pain. Yeah, go ahead.
Sure. I do have some questions, and I actually have. I almost forgot. Don't know why. Nothing distracted me at all tonight. Definitely didn't bring my thoughts anywhere else. I have a story I could read too.
Oh, that would be really bitchin'. All right.
Yeah.
Wyatt asks a really dumb question you can Google online. He says, what's the difference between a pin and a needle? Well, the pin is what holds things in place. The needle is what sews them there. Why do I know that? My wife does a lot with sewing. Otherwise, I wouldn't know.
So, yeah. I was thinking a needle like for injections, in which case I'd say that one's hollow.
Well, it's still kind of true, because the needle like pulls thread through the fabric, and the needle that like, you know, pumps stuff, I guess, you know.
So, I have a question here. Fucking, where was it? I swear. Oh, from CM Helnikainen says, tell us about Anubis Ranziel. Nah, you got something planned for the night of the 31st?
That was a troll on somebody who will remain nameless. Oh my goodness. I mean, how dumb is that? I don't want to get like really, really like negative, but damn. Like that was like, and I warned them. I'm like, look, you better trust me. If they're telling you that, then you're setting yourself up right there. That's all I'm saying. All right. So do I have anything planned for the 31st? As I said on my last stream, I'm going to use this 31st as the start of a new tradition in this house, where I am going to erect a simple little altar to my ancestors, specifically one in particular, the patriarch of the family when I was a kid. Not so much the matriarch, although they're important too. Not because I'm sexist or anything. It's just because it's pretty clear that my grandfather was really, really important to the whole family. They both were, and I'll honor them both. Trust me, I'll have them both there. But I'm probably the one I was the closest to, the one I have zero negative memories of, is my grandfather. So I'm going to, well, nothing negative like, you know, like broken childhood negative, we'll say. You know, there was times he yelled at me, of course, but no negatives. So I'm probably going to do some ancestor, not worship, veneration on the 31st, which is really what in Western society, that's what, you know, Halloween, Samhain, all of these incarnations of the same thing, All Saints Day. It's the Day of the Dead, guys. It's the day to venerate your ancestors is really what it is. Among other things, it's to celebrate and venerate your ancestors, and the veil is thin between worlds for that reason. So I'm going to be doing that. That's how I'm going to spend, plus I'll be working like my day job. So I'll be there doing that, but I'm going to be doing that day. We'll have to see what I give him as an offering. Probably something techie. He likes techie stuff. So maybe I'll see if I can give him something techie that he would like. Maybe like a picture of a star or a galaxy or something that he would like, because when he was young, he loved that shit. So,
Oh, I should throw in a motherboard or something.
yeah, right. Something he could fix in the afterlife. Yeah, right. Like that's what I like the Chinese, and I think also, I don't know if I know in Mexico they have the Day of the Dead, but I don't know if it's the practices are actually pretty similar to the Chinese, if I remember correctly. They have like money and treats and snacks that they'll give to the other side. So they have like ghost money in China. I love that. I think that's so cute. I love that. It's such a cute idea. Now, this goes all the way back to Sumeria. I mean, when you think about it, it goes all the way back to Sumeria, when people would pour libations for the dead in the afterworld, the afterlife, so that they wouldn't be dry, because all they're eating is dust. So it's really, you know, really good shit. So I'm going to venerate my ancestors. Haven't done that in a long time. I think everybody here, everybody listening, I think a lot of us have, because of the modern world we live in, we really are losing touch with that. And I think that's intentional. I think we're meant to be, you know, I think the powers that be want us to be without an anchor, without a rudder, without any of that stuff. They want us so that we're more dependent upon the culture and the state. And if you can have a little bit more of an anchor in place, I think you'll be doing better in life. I just do. And that's coming from somebody who's pretty proud of the fact that I'm almost an orphan, even though I have family living all over the place. So, yeah, just saying. So, all right, that's what I'm doing, CM. That's what I'm doing.
All right, so the story I have prepared tonight comes from somebody in the audience.
Oh, starts with a V and ends with an Aureus. Oh, I don't know.
So, magic-related story for tonight's live stream. Just yesterday, I did a manifestation spell with Lucifer and Beleth, and it wielded the most powerful results I've ever gotten throughout my entire soon-to-be 5 years of magic. About 4 months ago, my father said he was sending me to a college that I would never in a lifetime find myself going to. I'm not going to name it in fear of beginning anything, but they are one of the largest ones. I didn't want to go because I want to live a simpler life, more freelanced and not constricted. This also ties into Thorne's prophecy, which I've definitely noticed everywhere as well. I've pleaded helplessly for him not to sign me up, but he said that I was being stupid and that I will have a high opportunity there, which he was correct in a way. But again, I never wanted that job. Every day would be misery if I had it. Yesterday, I was given the papers for signing up, if I wanted to go. He said that he was going to, no matter what I said. When I got to my room, I almost cried, realizing that an extra 40 to 50 years of my life would be entirely wasted. And so I decided to resort to the strongest form of magic I know. I had written, "I am free, I am truly liberated," on a paper over and over, and recited Lucifer and Belus and every time. I said an incantation over it and burned it. I fell asleep, basically exhausted from how terrible I felt. Today, just recently around 8 o'clock, my father said, "Do you want this, or do you really want to find your own path?" Which he has never said to me throughout my whole life. He knew about the college. I said no. And he said that he wouldn't call them then. To ensure that he didn't go back on his word, I ripped the paper and threw it in the garbage, where I personally think it belongs. I got back into my room and laughed maniacally while crying, realizing that I just became free-form essentially a whole life of pointlessly labor. I promised them both a large offering in return, So everybody give those two a huge hail and round of applause. Cheers to Belith and Lucifer, the empowerer and liberator. But most importantly, hail and cheers to thyself. Thank you for listening.
Yeah, I like that one. I like the ones with the happy ending. Unfortunately, they're going to be poor now for this. No, I love that kind of stuff because, you know, I resonate with that a lot, actually, for a different reason, maybe, or almost the same reason. I never went to college, right? Most people know that. I never went to college, not a day. In fact, I didn't even graduate on time from high school. I had to go to summer school. I was someone who basically wanted to drop out of everything. I hated school so much. I couldn't stand pretty much all of it. I couldn't stand the indoctrination. I couldn't stand being told what to think, not how to think. I was already more advanced in some ways than they could ever teach me, and the things I didn't want to know, I just didn't want to know. You know, too headstrong, I guess. When I applied myself, hundreds, 90s, aced everything. But I hated school. I hated the teachers. I hated the attitudes. I hated the nepotism. I hated the whole fucking thing. So I really had no interest in it. I just figured I'd be blue collar for the rest of my life or join the military. I didn't care. And all of my guidance counselors were, you know, they'd scold me constantly. And they'd say, you know, if you just apply yourself, you could be a physicist, you could be a this, you could be, yeah, no, fuck you. Some of that was my own fault, right? Some of that was not by choice. Some of that was feelings of inadequacy in certain areas. The home was broken. There was a lot of problems going on. I didn't feel very good about myself. I just figured I wanted to just be left alone. I didn't want to be an achiever. I wanted to be an underachiever and be left alone. I wanted to live on the fringes. I wanted to be Nada from They Live. That's what I wanted to be. I didn't even know who that was yet. But that's who I wanted to be in a lot of ways. I wanted to be a drifter, working with my hands, just living my life and experiencing the world. And I also didn't like the way school tried to teach. I am an autodidact. I teach myself way better than anyone can teach me, with some exceptions, way better. When someone's trying to teach me something, I'm like, because I have a terrible short-term memory. I have good long-term memory, terrible short-term. So I'll be sitting there, they'll be like, what's this? I'm like, I don't know. You just showed me, but I don't know. I got to do it my own way or else I can't remember shit. Now, anybody who knows me knows, like, I'm a sponge. I love studying stuff. I love learning. That's why you can ask me about just about anything. I seem to have an opinion on it, right? I'm opinionated, but I'm opinionated with facts. Like, I don't know. So I totally resonate with that, not wanting to be a slave to a job or a career thing so much. Because there wasn't, when someone said, what do you want to be when you grow up? I wanted to be like an action hero. I wanted to be an astronaut like everybody, yeah, but I wanted the things no one can be. I wanted all those things. I didn't want to be what everyone else, you know, all these other kids, I feel like in the Christmas Story, right? That's why the movie Christmas Story really resonated with me. All the other kids like, I want a football. I'm like, I want a gun. You know, I want the thing you can't have for Christmas. That's what I was in everything. And so he says, well, what do you want to be when you grow up? What kind of career do you want? I'm like, career? The fuck's a career? I want to unravel the mysteries of the universe, and I want to see space, and I want to be a fighter pilot and a warrior, and I want to travel the country, and you know, I want to adventure.
They're so focused on, like, what do you want your role to be? What do you want your career to be? That's not, what type of experience do you want to have? Mm-hmm. What type of story do you want? What are you going to do with your life? I'm going to rock.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not saying that that's wrong to do to kids, because it's not. Most people are, I'm not the same as most people. Most of you aren't the same as most people. Let's be clear. Most of the people listening to me now are not like everybody else. We're not cogs in a machine so easily as other people. Everybody listening to me is a free spirit on some level. You don't like the idea of being told what to do, probably. Nobody does, but some people actually do, in a way. They say they don't, but really they do. School is made for the lowest common denominator. It's not made for the most intelligent or the free spirits. It's not made for that. So I really didn't want to conform to what they thought we're supposed to do. I just didn't. And I had a real hard time getting around that because, well, you know, Thorne, you're so smart. You could be this. You're so that. If you just apply yourself, you could be anything. You could skip a grade. You're that smart. We know you are. You just don't do the work. I don't do the work because fuck you. That's why. They'd even get mad because I'd have teachers that I had that were my favorites that I would, if I tell you I got hundreds like in their class, I'm not kidding. I did really well because I liked them. I liked their thought process. I liked learning from them. I liked what they taught. I was into it. But if it was like, oh, let's do some algebra, I'm like, no, let's not. Let me draw pictures of stupid teachers that are teaching algebra getting ripped apart by werewolves. Let me do that instead. So yes, it was an undisciplined mind. Yes, for sure. That I don't deny. Which is sad. But I learned to discipline it myself, to learn myself. Yes, Fleshy, I can sense you want to say something.
I wanted to sneak in before I forgot. Could you tell who the author of that story was?
Am I allowed to say who I thought it was?
Yeah.
CM?
No, that actually came from Wyatt.
What? I thought Wyatt is really going into college already? Is that what I just heard? Did I misread? I am tired, dude, so I might have misread the story. I heard going into a school.
I think applying for college.
Dude, isn't he like... Dude, homeboy's like 14.
You might have to clarify it for us. I know he's in the chat right now.
Wyatt, yeah. Is that college, bro, at 14? I don't doubt it. That's why I'm like shocked though. I'm actually because I'm like actually shocked because I don't doubt it, if that makes sense. Like if that's college, I don't doubt it. You are that smart. I can tell you are that smart if it is college that you're talking about. So like you are legit that smart. There's no question.
Oh yeah. Victorious has our back. It's like obviously you misheard because he's not going to college now.
True. What I thought it was CM because CM's going through school stuff too. So yeah, no, I absolutely had no intuition there. None. I was like, tell me something so I don't look like an asshole live. CM.
Swing and a miss.
Yeah, it was kind of like the scene from Christmas Story.
Speaking of Victorious, we actually have a question from him too.
Oh, fuck no.
So, Victorious's Wonder Dreamland presents The Mystery of Lucifer Karanzan. I had initiated myself with the Shadow Current several weeks ago, and then had a dream a few nights later of my initiation with Legion. I am immersed in a pool of what I can only describe as astral lava made of red light. The lava is made up of beings like shadow people, but not quite.
The fuck is that?
The damn hell?
Wow, what the fuck?
The lava is made up of shadow people, but not quite, as if the lava itself was made out of these dark astral beings. It was sort of like in the Disney animated movie Hercules, where all the dead souls were in a river, only in my dream it had a single consciousness. It's like if Legion were a river of people, but that river would be black. This was more like lava, and it was bright red. There was a voice that repeated the following name over and over, and it was the only name mentioned in the dream. Raziel, Anubis. I'm trolling. The real name was Lucifer Karanzan. It seems that it would be a being I work with in the Shadow Current. I definitely got a shadow work vibe through the whole dream, despite there not being the typical dark shadows. I think this being Lucifer Karanzan is Lucifer's shadow form, and much like Legion, a collective. I think it was made itself known to ease my tension and fear with working in the Shadow Current by being an entity that is familiar to me and I trust, which is Lucifer. Really hard to make sense of things because it also might be a hybrid entity and merger of Legion and Lucifer. Your thoughts? I think you're muted.
Yeah, actually I tried to mute myself when I typed, but it seemed to mute it afterwards. Just hold on a second. I'm just Googling something first so I get my names right.
And I'm just over here wondering if the witch was planned or not, because that was a little terrifying. You
It's
know
my
what?
ringtone for the next month or so.
You know what? I'm gonna share this on here because I don't think he would mind. Somebody I knew was watching this stream while playing a video game in the background, a very, very tense video game in which shit could go wrong at a moment's notice and anybody could sneak up on you. It was the one that we filmed recently with Camilla, and you left to get some tea, DH. And as you approached back in, before your camera was even on, you let out that deep, menacing cackle. And you scared the ever-living shit out of him because he was so in the zone in the game that he forgot the stream was going on and thought somebody had snuck up to end his life.
Oh man. So obviously Karanzan, I'm only good because Karanzan is a very storied entity. And you know, here's the problem, okay? Karanzan would actually be the opposite of a Lucifer. It's Lucifer being a light bringer and enlightenment bringer. Karanzan is actually like the dragon, the Ouroboros that you have to conquer at the end. Karanzan is like the last boss, if you will. Karanzan represents really the ego. And it is a collective because it's part of the collective conscious. Because the ego, the self-ego requires there to be a multiple ego for you to so in other words, in order for me to be DH Thorne, I can't be Flesh Priest. But that means Flesh Priest has to be real. Right? So I have to, in order for me to be real, Flesh Priest has to be real. So Karanzan is that collective identity. That's my interpretation of it. There's a lot of other interpretations. There's the more theistic version. Starts with John D. Edward Kelly. You got Crowley. You've got Peter Carroll. You've got all these different people talking about Karanzan in different ways, but they're kind of resonating. Now, Legion, I have often said, is almost like my version of Karanzan. You could almost say that if they're not the same entity with different names, I don't know. They're very, very similar in a lot of ways. They're definitely resonant with each other. They're maybe not the same, but they're resonant. So, you know, calling it Lucifer Karanzan, that might be just a personal fetish or a personal preference or a personal, spin that your subconscious threw on it for some reason, which is fine. You know, work with it, roll with it. I wouldn't say that it's objectively that. Karanzan is definitely a well-documented concept and spirit. I say concept because Karanzan's almost an impersonal being. You know, when something is like a compound being like that, it stops being personified so much because it's too many people in it, too many personalities in it, too many, it's a compound entity. It's too many consciousnesses. It's only one consciousness, but it's too many identities as one. And so it kind of loses that personification, I think. Karanzan is Karanzan, but it's not personified so easily. Karanzan's, like think of Lucifer. Lucifer's got a personality to it. Karanzan doesn't. Karanzan is this darkness, this thing that is difficult to conquer. It's really difficult to get through. It's the final boss on your path to divinity enlightenment, we'll say. So you may have tickled under the chin of Karanzan during this little, and by the sound of it, I think you should do research on it and really study that. You might need to. I think you'll enjoy it better.
The tone that you said that with of
The
you might need it bit sounds like you don't even know what the final boss is about to bring. You're gonna want to look up a strategy guide.
Yeah, I think so. Just from knowing Victorious is a cool guy, but I think that's gonna be especially if you just opened all the shadow, if you started working with the shadows. I mean, yeah, have fun. I can't guide you here. Like, I can only show you to the door, right? I feel like Yoda when it comes to the shadow current. I feel like Yoda, like with the tree, you know, that cave tree thing in Empire Strikes Back. And Luke's like, what's in there? He's like, only what you bring with you. I feel like that. Like, go in there. That's where it all is. It's on you, though. I can't help you. I can only show you to the tree. You got to walk through it. So. CM Helmakainen says, there is only you in Legion. Only you in the shadows. Mind them. Yeah.
Motherfucker's doing the outro for us.
Wait till you figure out that there is only you. Wait till you figure that shit out. All right. Yeah, let's sell some crap and let's get out of here. So last couple weeks ago, or last week, I forget it was, the wifey came on and she was selling a new product, which actually, I guess it didn't do as hot as I thought it would be. I don't mind telling you. We sold a couple, but that means we still have some left. I think it's because people really only want red, I guess is what it is. I don't know if we have any more red ones left. But what's that? We do have red again? Okay. So we got red ones. Unfortunately, fleshies without a blacklight, you can't see it very good because they're all blacklight reactive. But his
my lighting is awful for this.
That
Looks
one is
much
specific.
better in person.
That one specifically is meant to be difficult to see unless you have a blacklight. It's actually meant to be like a hidden eye. I think my wife is about to pull out a way to show.
I was supposed to be sleeping.
I know. I don't know why you came running out. You were supposed to be asleep.
Interest.
Oh, she's got a little blacklight flashlight. I feel like we're about to do like a
All right,
sex
cool.
light.
Shine it on mine.
Okay, I'll shine it on yours.
All
So
right,
this
cool.
is the round version. We've got like serpent eye, and then we have round ones. Let's see. Why is this not working? It's too bright. Okay, hold on.
Might be the background.
It's too bright. Yeah. Okay, there we go. See how it's glowing? So these are all UV reactive. This is another one here. So that's, I think, like fleshies, right? It looks black in normal light.
This is purple.
That's a purple one?
Yeah.
Yeah. So these are like our mirrors, but these are the UV eyes. So actually, what else? I got some here too. Let's see. Come on. Anyway. What's cool, what sucks is I was going to have rings because my ring is, get it up in there. The light's like, you know what it is? These cameras pick up too much UV. That's what it is.
Mm-hmm.
Because in person, that is glowing like your background. Like, I wish you could see what I see right now. But it's picking up too much of the UV.
Webcams just suck for picking shit up in
That
general.
really does. I wish you could. It looks like the One Ring from Lord of the Rings. It's glowing a bright orange red, and I wish you could see that. It's really bad. But unfortunately, I can't find the person who makes these rings on Amazon that I was going to use to mod them, because I have to add a thing to the middle of them. They're not available for like months, so I won't be doing them until at least next year. This is a new one she's coming out with. There's going to be different, probably mirrors and stuff with these. This is a rainbow one.
Oh shit!
So
that's the one that she posted pictures of.
Yeah,
Huh.
these are like psychedelic. But we also have more mirrors in the production. So for those of you who like the mirrors, we're gonna have more of those coming out soon.
That one is fucking sick because it's like a hippie became Sauron.
yeah, a little bit. Hold on, let me turn the lights up. Let me do that. Boop. Daylight. I can't see. So we're gonna have more mirrors coming soon. So we got them in the works. Hold on. Show them the finished one, honey. No, that's okay. So we're going to have some finished ones coming soon. So. Yeah, that's what I was thinking, Mac. This one especially because I sometimes do rituals in black light. So this is what it looks like in regular light, if you can see it. So it glows really good. Let me get my link tree going.
I wonder if I could give a light show with this thing, actually. Hold on. I'm about to blind everybody's camera. If it works. It will not.
Yeah.
Absorbs too much of the light.
That's the problem. These cameras, like, they do pick up too much UV. So I'm putting the link in the chat right now. This is to the Etsy store. I'm pinning it too. So check that out. There's a lot of stuff, and it comes and goes. My wife works on it all the time. She's probably going to have a batch of mirrors done by Thanksgiving, because then she's going to be going to work at the day job like 7 days a week for a month. So expect a drop of them before Thanksgiving, and then that'll probably be it until next year. So if you're interested in those things, that's that. I also have a skull I'm working on. I'm not going to show that one until I finish it, because I may delay on that. But it's going to be more to do with the Necronomicon. I'll have to message Patchwork, see if he wants it. Yeah.
If he wants what now?
All right, I'll show you. Let me dig it out.
Oh,
I'm
you
working-
just said that you're not going to show him.
Yeah, but I'll show it. I don't mind. I may have to like redo some of it. I got the pencil lines done. I got to paint it still. It's just getting it out as a pain in the ass. I want to have a couple of these done in time for Christmas.
I just need more enemies that I can cleave the skulls off of.
Yeah,
The
that's-
materials, the raw material is so hard to come by.
That's what it is, man. That's really what it is. So, for those of you who are interested in the Necronomicon and the Necronomicon spellbook, I decided to do a skull that will feature all of the 50 different sigils from that with the...
Oh, dude, that's fucking bitchin'.
So it's going to have all 50 of the sigils from that on there. All the 50 names of Marduk, basically, on it. So that I'm going to do. I got to figure out how to, like, put designs around it and stuff. So this one's probably going to be pricey because I'm probably going to be spending a lot more detail work on it because there is 50 of them. So I want to make it as intricate as I can. I want to make it look cool. That's assuming I even sell this one. I might keep this one for myself. Like, fuck
Ain't that
all
the problem of being a crafty person?
It is, man, because you always come up with new stuff, and you just, I wanted to do wands for a while because I found a wand that I want to emulate and like make like my own version of, and attach crystals to. I haven't consecrated the one I made yet. I keep meaning to do it, but I almost feel like I don't have to because it's already. That makes any sense.
No, absolutely. That's the way I approach things. So I don't think you need to formally do it.
So this is I'm going to be painting it, but this is I was going to like start making wands too, but I don't have the energy to make all that. So it's like a dragon head, and then I just inserted in the tip a nice crystal with copper wrap. So yeah. Anyway, guys, that's just showing off. That's not for sale. That's just for showing off.
Yeah, especially once you start involving anything with wood carving. Dude, that takes fucking forever to make it look good.
It can. I mean, I found some workarounds using Dremels and stuff, so I feel pretty good about cranking them out, but that's not as much fun, is it? So, yeah.
No, and Dremels can go so wrong so easy. I don't know.
Yeah, but they do it first, but you do get the knack for them. If you use them a lot, you can get the knack. So you don't, because I know what you're talking about, because when it gets in the right spot, it'll twist and swing and just,
Yeah, maybe I just need more experience. I don't have to work with Dremels very often.
There's definitely a secret to it. I watched a video on it, but I was already doing it intuitively and I forgot how to do it. I just know to do it. But there's a way to, like, when you're making cuts and especially curves and shit, or when you're following a trench, that's when you're most likely to go and like really fuck up. So, but there's a way to do it. You just go slow. There's a way to do it. Yeah. But I don't know. I'm not in a very salesy mood tonight. I'm just not. Buy my crap. If you like what I'm doing, check out my
Check out the link tree.
Yeah,
everything's there.
Everything's there. Black Salvation, fuck the living Christ says, ever work with Kali Ma? Shock today. No, I have never worked with Kali. Not that I have a problem with Kali or anything like that. I've just never worked with Kali Ma. I don't resonate well with the Hindu spirits really at all. That may change someday, but I'm not really into them. Although I am obviously into the Vedas and non-duality. So I'm just not really into those. To full disclosure, over the last 4, 5, 6 months, I've gotten more and more disinterested in working with spirits. Like my theurgy has gone on the back seat for a while. Just not interested in working with spirits lately. People are asking, how come there's no more demon reviews? Because I haven't worked with any other demons. I've kind of put it all like away for a little while.
Hey,
So-
in the D&D context, you are taking a step away from the warlock and you're working on your sorcerer. Oh, he's muted.
My dog is misbehaving, so I had to call my wife out because I'm attached. What'd she get, napkin? She's like a termite. She loves eating paper. She loves eating toilet paper. So it's just not really my thing right now. It may become my thing at some point because there's definitely some crossover, especially with Greek stuff. But really, the only pantheons I'm interested in lately would be the chthonic spirits from the underworld, from Greek and Sumerian and stuff like that. I'm really interested in that lately. So that would be kind of it. Like especially like Erebus, Nyx, Primordial Chaos, to a slightly lesser extent Hades and all of that stuff. But definitely Erebus and Nyx. And you don't really work with Erebus and Nyx. You can to a point. I mean, not saying you can't work with Erebus, but Erebus is like, the abyss itself. It's the darkness itself. So it's kind of tough. It's always the darkness. Really, honestly, I will say this. I was actually going to be doing the stream mostly about Legion tonight because I started working with him again the other night. But, nah, I'm going to save that for me. I'm going to save that for me right now. So. Black Salvation, Fuck the Living Christ says, I walk with the Hindu path. Never resonated too well with demons. Let's be clear, though. The demons are just like what Christians did to other folk spirits. Let's be clear. Demons is really daemons, and daemons are just spiritual beings. Christians are just, almost racist about it, and that's really what it is. There really is no such thing as what Christians would call a demon. I don't believe. I think that they're egregores when those things. I think all of the goetic spirits are egregoric. They're all egregoric, to be clear, but they're recent egregores. They're egregores that were created probably in the Middle Ages, shaped around all of these other things. So. Yeah. All right, guys. I think that's it for me. Yeah, I'm kind of fading. But hopefully we have something interesting next week going on. We'll try to get a good guest on. Hopefully we'll see if we get some good guests on.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to like not be gentle. I'm gonna have to bust out the lasso or something. Mm-hmm. Like start using some blackmail. Grab somebody and just bring them on.
Let me see. Sabatius. Ooh, never saw that name before. I like that name. DH, with your initial implementation with working with the Triumph table, if Nyx and Erebus and Chaos the Third, maybe because you have Chaos, right? Primordial Chaos being an impersonal being. So Chaos is the Brahman. Okay, in other words, Brahman is Chaos. Atman Brahman is Chaos and Soul. Okay, so Chaos, Soul, Brahman, Atman. They're pretty much, for those who do understand the Vedic stuff, they're pretty, in my book of understanding, they're kind of the same. Chaos meaning gap. That's what it really meant. It means the abyss. It means the void. It means the no thing. You can see where I'm interested, right? Because I suddenly want to talk. And Erebus and Nyx are among the first beings to be spawned from chaos. And that is true. So, that's why I'm interested in all that. I like the primordial stuff because honestly, my spirituality, I'm more drawn towards the really mystical, really deep, like, cosmic horror level of it doesn't have to be horror. I just mean like that unrelatable quality of the infinite. I love that kind of shit. So, you could, it's not really, I'm not really going to do it that way. It's really just, I just work with things as I want to work with them. I don't make religions out of this, if that makes sense. So I'm not gonna like create some sort of a pantheon out of it. I just go where I'm guided. But again, recently it was Legion again, and Legion wants my attention again. So that's where it is. And I feel really good talking with Legion again. So yeah, I'm sure Kali Ma is primordial. Absolutely. I'm not saying it's not. It's just, it's also a cultural thing. There's certain culture stuff that just resonate better with me, you know? Like, I'm just not into the symbolism of him. It just doesn't, it's not bad, it just doesn't do it for me. It's just not what I'm into.
You
It's
can't
like,
connect with it as easily.
yeah, it doesn't get, yeah, it just doesn't, it's not like, woohoo.
Yeah.
No, you're thinking Cerberus Victorious. Come on, man. Come on, man.
I was wondering about that. I also like that Sabatius has a Rob Zombie avatar.
Right?
I appreciate that, dude.
I caught the blue. That's what got my attention. So, all right, guys, that's definitely it for this one. And yeah, we'll see what's going to happen this week. I'll probably do a video this weekend, hopefully. You know, someone asked earlier on about when am I going to start using alt media more? And I really should, because I'm really fed up with YouTube and I'm really fed up with the censorship, but I got 5,000 subs here, so I'd be stupid not to use that. So what I'm probably going to start doing at some point, if I can get my fucking BitChute to work right, I might just do it on Odyssey, because Odyssey is easier for me to use. But Odyssey or BitChute, I want to do a video every now and then to them and get you guys to catch me on those platforms instead, because eventually I'm going to be doing a lot of streaming and stuff off of YouTube, or I'll start on YouTube for like the first hour and then I'll go to these other platforms or something like that to finish up, because I'm really sick and tired of having to like mince words. And some of the times I mince words because Fleshy's here and he's not into the topic, but there's times I want to talk about those things and not be, you know, smothered by YouTube censorship. And that's important. On all topics, not just those, but those in particular. I mean, there's things that are going on right now you can't even fucking talk about, even though they're in the public domain. It's ridiculous. So, because YouTube will fucking censor your ass so quick. They'll shut you right down. So, go fucking figure. So you got to be careful. But I mean beyond the reasonableness of let's not encourage things like, you know, taking baths with toasters and stuff. You know, I mean, it's beyond that. It's beyond the reasonableness. It's in the realm of obvious propaganda, and it's disgusting. It pisses me off. But anyway, all right, guys. So let's give it a farewell. We got only 32 people. So let's get our good nights on. So you ring us out there, Fleshy.
Yeah, to all of you who tuned in, thank you for contributing to a wonderful discussion. As always, appreciate each and every one of you glorious bastards, bitches, and non-binary witches being here. So, until next time, tell your friends, warn your enemies, mind the shadows.
Mind the motherfuckers.
And
have a good night.
Don't take yourself too seriously.
Yeah, that's my job.
Night, fuckers.
All right, we're good.